good evening. Welcome to another Wednesday show, a live show of the ONG StrikeZone. Bryan Fulford here with Kelvin Rozier and Marcus Green. Guys, it's been a week. Seems like forever. I just started getting used to that whole Monday rotation thing, and man, you know, a week's gone by, and man, I missed you guys. How y'all doing tonight?
Doing good, man. I'm excited, man. Got game face on, man. This is business this week, and Rattler's treating as such, man. It seems as if we may have a sellout.
Oh,
well,
great.
We do have a sellout for homecoming. If you're looking for homecoming tickets, you're out of gas. You got to try to buy some off somebody.
Yeah. Kelvin comes in with the breaking news right off the bat. Marcus, what do you got for us? You got something that'll trump some sellouts?
Don't use that
sellout stadiums?
No, nothing like that.
No good recruiting news to lead off
with.
Yeah.
Nothing. Oh, there's always good stuff. Yeah, I think we finally got a name of our the other tall guy.
Who are you talking about? What when you say the other tall?
On basketball.
Basketball. Basketball. Okay.
The other recruit, I think there's some help in a private forum. You know, a guy that popped up on the video that they released, I think late last week or earlier this week. And I was like, who is that? And somebody said, hey, this is so and such and such. So we got that. And last week, the coaches were on a tear. And I'm sure if he hasn't already, Keith might talk about it on his podcast. I haven't had a chance to see it. But yeah, they were just like offers galore last week, like Oprah, just on the football side during the off week.
Well, it's you know, we are close to the start of basketball season. I mean, it's kind of crazy that we don't completely know the roster. We don't know all the names. I mean, what they go off to SWAC Media Day, October 7th and 8th. Yeah, about a week and a half.
About a week. Yeah, almost 2 weeks.
Season starts November 3rd, 2025. You know,
and the Lady Rattlers are coming up my way, and I'm trying to see if I can
schedule.
Get down to DC. I don't know. Liv said she's going to be there, so let's see if I can. Now I know that's the day during our UAPB game, so you know I might have to miss the UAPB game. Go down to DC.
All right.
I'm with Liv.
I didn't even see what Liv said.
If you want to know the names, just ask. I had a chance to watch them practice last Thursday. And talk with coaches for a good little while. I was there the whole practice. Mm-hmm. And let me just say, Rattler Nation, we will be very proud of the product that is on the court. And it will look nothing like we've probably seen in recent times, maybe in a long time. We have some length, some athleticism. We have a lot to work with. You just got to see if it comes together.
Okay. I know. Well, look, we're. I can't say there's so much sports going on right now. You know, there's never not a good time to talk about it. So I mean, we got schedules that we're hoping that we're kind of piecemealing schedules from other schools. So we kind of again, our coaches have kind of told us via our show. We've heard from Coach Gordon and Coach Ward about the schedules. I guess you know we haven't quite put it all together in terms of dates. We know the locations of a lot of those non-conference games. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks, we'll have that official schedule released. And then, you know, they're selling season tickets, though. I do know that. I've seen the advertisement selling season tickets for men and women. Marcus, you made a interesting you saw something very interesting regarding the season tickets and the pricing. You want to go ahead and share that?
Yeah, I saw courtside was at $550, $550 I guess per ticket for courtside for the season ticket package. And
is that men and women, or is it just?
I'm assuming so. I'm assuming it's for the whole season. I'm assuming it's for the whole season and for both both teams. So I mean, when you break it down by game, I mean, cost per game, it's not bad at all.
Okay.
It might be a little shock, all at one fell swoop, but in terms of if you're planning on attending every game and you look at it men's and women's and count the number of games you're going to, it's probably a reasonable price and might even be underpriced. But if you're looking at how many home games do we have, including out of conference.
Eight conference games and
eight conference games,
and then four-ish. I think
I was going to say three, but if four, I like four.
Each men and women. So yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, in terms of breaking it down by game, and if you break it down by men and women game, double header, it's not bad, per game price.
Gotcha. Kelvin, I know Gail said she purchased her season tickets already with her football tickets. You mentioned going up to the ticket office earlier. Did you already get your tickets?
I have my 3 in my FAMU Ticketmaster account.
Okay.
What about you?
That means. Look, I roll media. That's why I'm in media. I told y'all this story. When I learned as a young person that being
wrong answer.
Exactly. Well, look, it is what it is. So I'm just keeping it real. I can't remember the last time I paid for a ticket. If I can get in as media and cover and talk about it, I'll go that route. Take pictures, take video. I am what I am. So no apologies. So there it is. But yeah, we'll get some more information out to you guys about that. EA asked the question: did they have the weekend courtside package? Kelvin,
I only seen 2 packages, and so my understanding, I guess what I'm thinking is that's rolled into, but I'm not sure. The 550 or 5 whatever it is, I think it's rolled into that.
Okay. Hey, somebody help us out. Help us out. We want to get people some info. We're trying to. We gotta promote. We got a lot of stuff that we want to promote and share. And so, any information, we know a lot of folks are watching the show, and so any information that you guys can feed us so that we can share with Rattler Nation, please do so. Even if it's not all the information, some information gets people excited. Well, hey, we've got a great show for you tonight. I want to thank everybody for jumping in early and getting with us. And however you're watching the show, watching us on the YouTube feed via the Jericho Broadcast Network, Black College Sports Network, YouTube feed at MyJBN Online, where you can also join and be a part of the YouTube channel. Thanks to all of our JBN subscribers. You could be watching us on Facebook, the Black College Sports Network Facebook page, our ONG StrikeZone Facebook page. We say hello to all of you. Our Instagram Live folks, I saw, I think Coach Beal jumped in. She might be watching us on IG Live. What up, Coach? How you doing? Always a pleasure to see you. Our Twitter folks, our Twitter family, hello to you. And I think we also got another YouTube channel on the ONG StrikeZone YouTube feed as well. So all of those places that you're watching the show, hit the thumbs up and the like button, however and wherever you're watching the show. It's greatly appreciated, 100%. So coming up on tonight's show, it is Alabama State Week, and it's Jackson State weekend for the football team. Both football and volleyball are opening up the conference season this weekend. How big of a weekend is this? Without a doubt, it's the Lady Rattlers are in the hunt, and they're going to start their defense, the title defense of the SWAC championship. 3 of the last 4 years, all since we've been in the SWAC, we've won the championship. 3 of the 4 years, been to the championship game 4 years consecutively. We open up against Jackson State Friday, 6:00, and then there's a Sunday afternoon match against Mississippi Valley State. And then, of course, in between that on Saturday, of course, is the SWAC football season against Alabama State. So I guess some people might call them rivals, but it's hard to be a rival when you hadn't really beaten us. So I mean, our folks from up north, they're coming down to Tallahassee to take on the Rattlers, and as Kelvin said, we're expecting a good crowd, a good sellout. So if you can't get your tickets, you're gonna have to hurry up and get them. You can always watch it right there on HBCU Go Sports, or you can listen to it on the Rattler Football Network, myself and Albert Chester, 96.1 Jams locally, but also via iHeartRadio. And so if you want to listen to the broadcast and watch, hey, I always recommend doing that. Might be a slight delay, but, it's all good. You're going to hear some good commentary from people that you know, love, and trust. So there you go. So we'll talk more about that as we go. But the guests for tonight, the guest lineup include none other than former FAMU alumni president and current VP for Institutional Advance at Alabama State, a Rattler alum he is, Colonel Greg Clark. Colonel Greg Clark is going to be joining the show, bottom of the hour, coming up. And then at the top of hour 2, I believe we have Nick Eden joining us. Many of you familiar with Nick, the famous, or maybe the infamous, HBCU Twitter weekly series that he would broadcast and put out via Twitter, which I think he's retired at now officially. But you can also catch him now. He is his show. He's the host or creator of In the Quad with Nick Eden, a weekly show that I think it's weekly that he does on, I believe it's HBCU Plus is the network. But he's a Bama State alum. So we had him on last year. So, hoping for a little more of that good karma that Nick brought to the show. And, we like to bring on guests when we get, we got a list now. We're starting to gather a list. People that we lose, there's not a lot of teams that we've lost to in the SWAC. So there's certain people we don't invite back on the show right now, not until we get back to winning. But people like Nick, we want to bring back on, some more of that good karma. So we love you, Nick. Thank you, man. Thank you for agreeing to come on the show. All right, so let's go through the roll call here as we start the show before we get too heavy and deep into things. Let's start off first off with Jimmy Mack, first one in the door. Good to see you, Jimmy. Appreciate you for joining in. Let me see. What's he say? Is that a dub? I see you looking out. What am I missing there? Am I missing something?
Talking about a W for Saturday.
Oh, for Saturday. Well, of course. Bull's getting his bags, packing his bags. He'll be up in Tallahassee this weekend, no doubt, for sure.
It's a lot to do in Tallahassee this weekend, too, Bull.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What else is going on in Tallahassee?
Well, Friday we have the local alumni chapter having a function off South Adams in the Tallahassee Nights Live Performance Center, right across from Early's Kitchen. And I know Colonel Clark is I ain't gonna steal his thunder, but I know he's got an event Friday night at Eve's on Adam, which is on the top of the Doubletree here. Never been there, so I definitely try to make it. As well as a volleyball game Friday night at 6, a Hall of Fame at 7 at Gaither.
Yeah.
So there is no void of activities that are free and paid. You got your choice.
Good stuff. What up, Ken? Good to see you. Thanks for checking in. Hello to you, Melissa Wilson, checking in.
Hey,
good
Melissa.
To see you. Good to have you in. Kelvin managed in as well. Marvin Allen checking in. Good to see you, Marvin.
Duval.
Meredith checking in. Thank you for being a JVN subscriber. Yeah. Dallas, Texas, checking in. Okay. Let us know where you're from. Let us know where you're from. Thank you for coming in. Demetra, good to see you, Demetra.
What's up, Mitra?
B Starks in the house. Thank you for being a JBN subscriber.
Mary 305.
Hey,
Auntie.
Another JBN subscriber. Good to see you as well. Ashton Harris, always a pleasure to have
in the
you.
House.
Yes, sir. There she is. Liv checking in.
Twin Cities in the house.
Mm-hmm. Erie Young checking in from the Carolinas.
What's up, Erie?
Good stuff. Marcus checking in from Middle Georgia.
What's going on, Marcus?
Thank you for being a JBN subscriber. Mary said the house is divided this weekend. Woo! Alabama versus Florida going on in a couple of different cities, huh? Woo!
Yeah.
Boy, that's a fun weekend. It is the start of the SWAC football season, so all 12 SWAC schools are playing each other. So probably, I think this is the earliest that I think we have seen all the schools play conference games against one another. If my memory, normally you catch that in October, but maybe it's just because of the way the schedule falls. But shout out to the SWAC schedulers. Chuck Hunt checking in from Monroe, Louisiana.
What's
Good
up,
to see
Chuck?
you, Chuck. JT coming in. Good to see you, JT, in the house.
JT in the house.
Kiva West in the house. Good evening.
What's up, Kiva?
James Austin. Yeah.
What's up, James?
Mm-hmm. Ron Jab checking in. Good to see you as well. Larry's asking the important question. See, I love that. Larry, way to come in and ask the important question. What does Vegas say? I got to check that. I'll have some updates and see. Vegas doesn't like to drop FCS lines this early. It's Wednesday. Usually they like to drop those on a late Thursday or Friday. But I got a couple of sites that I can check on and see what the computers think. The computers, they always seem to have an idea. Good to see you. Good checking in, Tony. Good to see you checking in. Troy checking in. Good to see you, Troy.
What's up, Eyebrow?
We got any eyebrow bets going on this weekend, Troy? I mean, it's a lot of talk by Bama State folks. Is it, first conference game of the season? Let's see if Troy got some eyebrow bets going on. Good to see you, Gail. Thanks for checking in as well.
What's up, Gail?
Marcus, there's a question for you. I'm not really sure about this.
No.
No? Okay. Good question. Let's see. Southbound. Okay.
What's up, Southbound?
Yeah. Good to see you. Okay. Yeah, maybe I was about to say something, but I'm not. I'll pass this early. I'll wait till Nick comes on. I'll wait. I'll save it. Good to see you, Tamara T. Thanks for checking in.
What's up, Tamara T?
Little baby in the house.
Hey, big little baby.
Let's see if I'll get Marcus's stuff here in a second. Road Dog, good to see you, Road Dog, checking in.
Man, don't do my boy like that.
Who'd I miss?
You know I got to do my high. EA.
I already brought up EA's tweet, so if you want,
high then.
There you go. I already brought up EA earlier in the show. November 3rd, USF, FAMU. Hey, the good thing about this FAMU basketball schedule, they are everywhere in the state of Florida. They are in Orlando, they're in Tampa, I believe they're in Jacksonville, obviously in Tallahassee. I don't think they're in South Florida. I think that's the only place you won't see FAMU basketball within the state of Florida. Liv, am I correct on that? I'm gonna go to Liv with these kind of questions. So, and they're in Gainesville, and I'm talking either men and or women. So, yeah, I think the Rattlers are all over the state, maybe with the exception of those. Kerry Daniels checking in. Let's see. Do you know if we're the underdog? I'm gonna tell you, Kerry, I will not be surprised if we are a underdog in the eyes of Vegas. Won't be surprised.
3 or 4 points is what I'm predicting.
Yeah, it won't be much.
In terms of Vegas now.
Right, in Vegas's eyes. And that's all statistic. That's all based on statistics. All statistics. Zeke Love, good to see you. Let me see. Yeah, it is the Boombox Classic. Mm-hmm.
I think that may be. I think that could be more interesting than what the prognosticators might say. It depends on whether or not issue turns the ball over, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah. Good to see you, Dexter. Thanks for checking in. Good to see you, Keith. Good to see you, Keith. Good evening.
I give him a look.
Hitman checking in from Charlestown, South Carolina, aka Hitman. Good to see you. Look, they asking for weather updates now. EA wants to know what's the weather looking like this weekend.
It's still
meteorologist Kelvin Rozier on the scene.
It's still early. I don't know what the hour by hour breakdown. I know there was a chance, 30-40% chance early in the week.
Mm-hmm. Good to see you, Joseph Carver. Always, it's always we invite our fellow HBCU family to come on in. So no shade. We got some good Alabama State folks coming up in the show. So pull up a chair and just promise you hit me that thumbs up button if you would. Liv did say there's a scrimmage scheduled against Edward Waters. That should be good. That should be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Edward Waters should have a good ball squad. And let's see, more Liv info. Men are staying close except for the games in Texas. Yeah, they wanted to stay close for the non-conference games. Good choice. Love the decision by Coach Ward and staff. Stay close. Get the fan base excited in year one under Coach Ward. Give people an opportunity to see what all the good news will be about this year. Yeah. Before we get ready to head into our first break, we want to take a second and recognize a fallen Rattler. I don't know if many of you heard the news. It definitely was a bit shocking when I learned of it. And this Rattler may be someone that you see all the time at football games and with our head coaches, but maybe just quite didn't know who he was. And we, it's sad to announce that on September 19th, Trooper Craig Gaines was called home. As many of you know, that Trooper Gaines was the Florida Highway Patrol right hand to not only Coach Willie Simmons for at least 6 years when Coach Simmons was the head coach, but also carried it on while he was with Coach James Colsey. And as you can see, we were given this information. There is a public viewing on Sunday in Quincy. So for those of you who are in the area and want to pay respects, there is an opportunity to do that on Sunday. And then a celebration of life on Monday morning, September 29th. Kelvin, I want to kind of step out of the way a little bit and give you an opportunity to share with the family a little bit about Trooper Craig Gaines.
Well, just a good, solid guy. There's a lot of guys who know him a lot better than I do, but a lot of the, he's from a family of Rattlers, first of all. And, anybody who knows Roland Gaines, who was a longtime administrator at FAMU, what was his father, and he was a very reliable and very comforting presence for our coaches, and he handled all the logistics for with travel in terms of when the escorts and things of that nature when we on the road. So it's a big loss. And condoling to Roland and the family and his friends. And I know the coaches have already sent their condolences and everything. It's very unexpected, and the most shocking part of this story to me is because I didn't hear about it. I didn't realize. Evidently, he broke his leg at the FAU game a couple of weeks back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was at that game. Yeah.
Yeah. So evidently something happened and on the sideline, and he ended up breaking a leg. And whether or not that had anything to do with it, there's some speculation. But just young person, unexpected. It's a tragedy in every sense. And we just sent out our condolences and to everybody.
Coach Willie Simmons, one of actually both our coaches released some thoughts, and Coach Simmons on not only Facebook but as well as on Twitter. For 6 years, you went everywhere I went on away trips, even some places we shouldn't have gone. LOL. You escorted me on and off the field for 58 straight games. The laugh shared between me, you, Troy, Jimmy, and Detrick will never be forgotten. I wasn't prepared to get the news Friday of your passing. Rest in heaven, brother. We love you, Craig. And then from Coach James Colsey, I always got you, Coach Colsey. Something that Trooper Gaines must have said a lot to Coach. Rest easy, my friend. Again, just to let people know, the services for Trooper Gaines public viewing on Sunday, and on Saturday will be the celebration of life. So keep the Gaines family in your thoughts and prayers, Rattlers, and kind of be looking out and be listening out. I know we may mention some things during the radio broadcast on Saturday, and there may be some other things over the weekend, but it'll be a little different, I'm sure, on the sideline for our coaches and the football players and staff to not have Trooper Gaines there by his side. So we send out our thoughts and prayers to everyone who knew him and to his family, and we'll keep them in our thoughts and prayers. We'll close the show with just a moment of silence and come back on the other side and get ready to talk to Colonel Greg Clark. We'll be back after these messages.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. Whether you're a student or a lifelong supporter, our gear lets you wear your HBCU story with confidence and style. Because when you wear HBCU Image, you're not just wearing clothes. You're wearing culture. You're wearing pride. You're wearing purpose. HBCU.
College football fans, the Cricket Celebration Bowl is celebrating 10 years of crowning an HBCU national champion. A champion will rise at Mercedes-Benz Stadium on December 13th as the MEAC and SWAC champions clash in Atlanta. Join us for championship football, interactive fan experiences, and iconic marching bands. It's an HBCU family reunion that you don't want to miss. See who will be crowned the next HBCU national champion. For event and ticket information, visit thecelebrationbowl.com.
All right, welcome back to the O&G Strike Zone. Bryan, Kelvin, Marcus, and welcome back to the O&G Strike Zone. Wearing a little bit different colors, but those colors are kind of familiar for you. But welcome back, Rattler alum, former National Alumni President, and current VP for Institutional Advance at Alabama State University, none other than Colonel Greg Clark. Colonel Clark, how you doing? Welcome back to the O&G.
What's up, Bryan? What's up, Kelvin? What's up, Mark? Old freshman brothers. Hey, good to be here, guys.
Good to have you. Good to have you back. Welcome back. Of course, it's a big weekend. Let's start by just kind of catching Rattler Nation up on how you got how you went from moving to working with FAMU, of course, doing all the great things you did as the National Alumni President, to what did Alabama State come in and swoop in? How they get you up there to come up to Montgomery and get you to work with Alabama State?
They picked the phone up. Simple.
Sometimes that's all it takes, right?
Yeah. And all of this, guys, happened in my last year as the president of the National Alumni Association in 2022, and a chance meeting with the chairman of the Board of Trustees, Chairwoman Brenda Brown Dillard, and then a call from Dr. Ross in May of 2022, and asked me would I be interested in have a conversation about the position. And that's how it all got started. And we kind of talked back and forth, and ironically, here's a funny story. The convention in Tallahassee was that June, and we were in that May, and we were in Board of Trustees meeting, and both of them was calling me at the same time, like, okay, the application's out there. You need to go and apply. And I was getting ready to go up to the microphone to give my remarks, and ultimately I ended up calling them back and got there. And it didn't help that my daughter was a senior there as well. So they kind of used that as well. You know how that goes with kids. So it's been a labor of love, and I've enjoyed every minute of it. So that's kind of how they got me here, guys. They picked the phone up and called.
Hey, sometimes you can't. What they say, you can't hit a bucket if you don't shoot your shot, right? Something like that. So, what are some of so your role? What are some of the differences? And obviously, being in a different state, that opens up all kinds of opportunities. But what are some of the differences that you have experienced that exist in Alabama with Alabama State that you've obviously, spent years working in Florida and familiar with Florida? What are some of those differences between the two states and maybe even the university, the way the university functions?
Yeah, we're similar in a lot of ways, but I can tell you athletically, there is a total commitment to athletics. The president and the Board of Trustees and unleash up of Dr. Jason Cable, it's all in. and of course, that's evident by the number of SWAC commissioners cups that they at the university have won. So I would say that would be a big difference. I think that we have the president assembled a great leadership team. It reminds me of my days in the military. I always tell them that if the commander's got a good staff, you can move some mountains. And we got there here at ASU. There is no hiccups whatsoever. And he has a great staff in place. There's a commitment to education. We've laid on a number of different programs here since I've been here. Cranes are going up around here, and it's just a good situation.
Okay. Go ahead, Kelvin.
Greg, Alabama State is renowned and known around HBU circles for their athletic facilities. They have some of the best athletic facilities in the not just HBCU, but just in general in D1. And I know there were certain things that happened to allow that to happen. Everybody might not understand and know about how that came about, so to speak. So kind of talk about that.
Well, I'm gonna clear the air with some of this. Of course, you've been in, the stadium inside of the basketball arena, and the misnomer is that Alabama State built that stadium off of a lawsuit, Knight versus the state of Alabama back in the day. After that didn't happen. Alabama State went and borrowed the money to build a stadium. Of course, when I got here, that's really the only debt the university had was paying on the football stadium. And so, it helps that our president spent many years in the Alabama State Senate, and he understands how to maneuver through those mechanisms down there to get the funding in place. But that lawsuit did help and putting some dollars in an endowment for us, but it did not fund the building of this stadium, which most people think. So there's a commitment to it right now inside of our arena, basketball arena. We're putting in new seats down low, just continue to try to prove the facility. Softball just got a new jumbotron, baseball, and we got a indoor golf practice facility that's gone live. And so, it's just a commitment to the entire athletic mechanism, putting dollars in nutrition, putting the dollars behind the academic advisors to ensure that we continue to be successful in the classroom as well. And so, all of those things coupled up, it's brewing at the bottom, y'all. I'm telling you, this place is different up here, and it's really coming on. So, looking forward to see it blossom.
All right, and a follow-up to that is talk about some things, some initiatives that are in the works in terms of what you would like to do in your current role, not just with athletics, some things that are going on right now with your work as the VP for Development and Foundation.
Yeah. So we're going to continue to grow the endowment. We work well together, the team, all year round, really trying to help VP and Athletic Director Cable grow our NIL pot of money. We putting some emphasis in that pot of money. I think we'll start to see that come to fruition, and ultimately continuing to be a bellwether in the SWAC. And and my hope is, guys, in 2019 when me and then Athletic Director Gaucher and then Chairman Kevin Lawson start this conversation about coming into the SWAC, and ultimately made that call to the commissioner that ultimately got this ball rolling down the hill to get us in the SWAC. We all thought about one day that this Alabama State and FAMU game would be a rivalry, a friendly rivalry, but we knew that it would put money in both schools' pockets during the home games, because it's a 3-hour trip for us. So that's what we envisioned. We did that, and I think it's going to come to fruition. I hope to continue to build y'all. And, you know, we're bringing 5 alumni buses down here. I ain't counting the the band and the rest of the people that's flying in and stuff. But there's been a good commitment, and I appreciate the administration for what they've done. And I want to shout out Carmen Cummings for helping me maneuver through this stuff. I made a trip to Tallahassee on Monday, and I want to thank Regina Battle and of course Travis, the deputy AD, for helping us get in there and really be welcome this weekend at FAMU, right? And that's it. I'm gonna continue to raise dollars for Alabama State University. Of course, I still sit on the foundation board at Florida A&M, and I help in that capacity where I can. But ultimately, continue to grow the brand of the SWAC. Dr. Ross is the chairman of the SWAC presidents, and so you know everything we do, the things that he do, he's always looking out for how we can grow the SWAC brand. And he and Commissioner McClellan work well together, and we're going to continue to push the button, guys, kind of get better.
Awesome.
Go ahead, Marcus.
Good evening, Colonel Clark. Colonel Greg, good to see you again.
As always, freshman brother.
Yes, and I wanted to ask, and I guess you elaborated on the previous question, and what your role actually entails. Yeah. But I wanted to ask, in your role, do you get a chance to look at the landscape of the SWAC and also FCS level or Division I level and compare and contrast how the SWAC measures up, either programs within the conference and how we measure up in terms of institutional advancement and other new things in NCAA like NIL as compared to our FCS peers? Yeah.
So one of the things that, you know, in my role as IA, Institution Advancement Vice President, of course, I oversee marketing communications, our radio station here, development, the foundation, National Alumni Association, all the mechanism which keeps us busy. And so looking at the SWAC from a whole, me and my counterpart at Alcorn, Dr. Mark, we started this past year at the basketball tournament. We brought in the VPs of institution advancement of other SWAC schools to sit down and start talking about how we can work together. We also invited in some athletic directors to start talking about NIL, because when we're out raising money for our respective universities, we're not only looking how we can bring dollars in academically, but we're looking at athletically. And so we started those conversations. It was supported by our commissioner. And so we look to do that again in Atlanta. I think it was normally on that Friday of the SWAC basketball tournament, and ultimately have a working group where we can take a look out and see how we can help each other raise money to elevate our athletic programs. Just know these companies, they got a lot of money. You know, FAMU and Alabama State can eat out the same pot. It's plenty to go around. But I think that from an overarching view, that in our capacity as VPs, we got to always think about athletics. That's the visible piece of a university. You can say what you want to say. Academically, yeah, everybody love academic, but the sports, athletics drive the train at a university. And the better we are athletically, that's going to tie into dollars raised. That's going to tie into students coming to the university. That's going to tie into the overall brand of our university. And I can tell you, the SWAC is getting there. I really think we're really a mid-major right now as we continue to strengthen. But I think no one in the conference can outrun the other person till we got a huge vacuum there. We got to kind of pull each other together through this, and we need to be strong as a conference. So that's what I see in the landscape. I see our programs continue to get better, but we've got to dig down, and the universities have to make a commitment to athletics to make this thing go. So overall, Mark, I don't think we're that far off. I look out into some of the mid-majors, and I think we just got to continue to just grind away. I think that we got to continue to go out and get these athletes. Talk to them. I mean, Power 5 and 4 can't get them all, right? So let's get them. Let's get them. other things that we can offer them. It's not always about the money. And so, yeah, that's what I think on overarching, guys.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Let me ask this. So my first question or thought, and I'm going back to something you said about that all-in commitment from the university. So if I asked you to kind of give a percentage, on what percentage scale would you say between all-in commitment from the university?
I think I froze.
Yeah, I could be. Hopefully, I'm not broken up. Am I coming in good?
Okay, yeah, gotcha.
Okay. Between all-in commitment from the university versus state policies and politics in terms of what you can and can't do, what is that percentage of your ability or the university's ability to fund athletic programs the way they're being funded at Alabama State? What does that percentage look like?
I don't know the percentage off the top of my head. I'd have to get the athletic with that. But I would tell you that as far as funding the full scholarships, of funding the total cost of attendance, which is a big one, especially when kids can get a check in their pocket every semester, and also funding in a lot of cases some academic awards to the student athletes. But I don't know the percentage, Brian, and I have to get the AD Cable on to tell me that. But I can tell you it's significant. It's
well, and let me say, I don't necessarily, I'm not looking for a number, but I'm more so looking for a theoretical percentage, like the ability to do it. Is it 75% because we want to, because we're all in, or is it like 50% because we can and 50% because we are? You know what I'm saying? If I'm making sense with that question.
I'm gonna go say 100% because we can, we are, and we will. Our president is like, okay, I'm gonna give you the resources. Now I want return on investment. He said that all the time. If we can figure out a way to get it done, we're gonna do it. And like I said, I think it's evident by the commissioner's cups and some things that we got going on around there. But there is a huge commitment to athletics, and we're going to always find a way to get it done up here. Hope that helps some.
No, it does. It does. I'm like I said, I'm fascinated about what you're able to do, and we've seen Alabama A&M grow as well. So there's a little bit of us kind of, at least for me, looking north and kind of with some envious eyes about what you're able to do up there. And I'm like, why can't we do that where we are? And I don't know if that's because of the institutional instability, or maybe it's because of restrictions from the state. That's kind of where I was going with that question and thought.
Yeah, ironically, we can do some things in the state that Florida won't let FAMU do. But what I will say is FAMU has a large rabid alumni base. And if that alumni base is activated, I believe that vacuum can be filled. That's what I think. I don't think it's really an excuse there. I remember when Billy Joe was making that run, right? And I mean, the university was raising a lot of money during that time. Okay, when Willie Simmons made that run, it was easy to ask for money. And so I think it's, my thing is to the university, to FAMU, is sit down and make athletics a priority, and and I think we will, and really lay out a long-term plan on how you're going to elevate it. And don't be scared. Don't be scared to do it. If you need to go out and borrow the money to rebuild a new Bragg Stadium, go out and do it. I mean, look, Alabama State, we got suites, we got a waiting list. So, and don't think that people will not invest in those suites. Trust me, they will. So it's just stepping out on the limb, and Bama State did that some years ago with Dr. John Knight, who was the chief operating officer at that time, and built that stadium. And from that point on, the president, Dr. Ross, that's currently president of Alabama State, has continued to invest in it. And so it's just a total commitment. Dr. Cable, the AD, has a wish list, and he, you know, if it makes sense, we try to do it. If we can fund it, we'll try to do it. But at the end of the day, it's all about the student athletes. We got to graduate them. We want to give them the best opportunity to be successful in life, and that's really what it boils down to.
Gotcha. Go ahead, Kelvin.
So, Greg, I know you got a lot of, well, you have some activities going on this weekend. Yeah. You already mentioned about the 5 buses, and so kind of talk about what you got going on this weekend.
Yeah, so you know, it's a big weekend. You know, the Hornet Nation is happy to come into Tallahassee. I told them it's gonna be hot down there, so get ready. So actually Friday night got an event on top of the Doubletree Hotel, an event to welcome Rattlers and Hornets together on the top of that roof. But before that, I'm actually going to put on a green jacket. So I'm going to Hall of Fame. It's been some years since I've been to Hall of Fame, and looking forward to seeing my fellow Hall of Famers. And I'm gonna go in and welcome and congratulate the 2025 class of the Hall of Fame. And when it's over with, I'll pull it off and put it back on a hanger, and I'll go back. So, but it should be a good weekend. We got a big tailgate, y'all, on right across from the parking garage. Yeah. We bringing our own cook down. He'll probably be dragging the grill already smoking coming down I-10. So you want a plate, I will feed you, gentlemen. Come right on over. Okay. We're gonna do the game.
Say nothing else.
Hey, come on, got you covered. I'll feed you, Kev. Come on, get some of that good Alabama vodka. But yeah, and then we're set up inside, and we're just looking forward to it. I will tell you, I love the hospitality. Like I said, Carmen them got it squared away for us, and we look forward to returning that hospitality next year in Montgomery again when Alabama State comes up. But should be a good weekend, and looking forward to everybody being there. A lot of our board of trustees are actually coming down, foundation board members. So it's a real good trip. So we're looking forward to having a great time, guys.
And one more follow-up to that. You all off to a pretty successful start this season. There's a lot of excitement. Talk about how Hornet Nation is feeling about this team this year.
Yeah, I think they're doing a great job. I think Coach Robinson is kind of slowly building something here, and as I told him, it's hard to win and brag, so don't take it for granted. We got to come in there and play football, because I guarantee you the Rattler Nation will be ready for it. But I think he's building a solid team and making it balanced. And we feeling pretty good around here about what's to come. And I have all the confidence in the world that he'll continue to build. We'll continue to put all the pieces around him and that team so they can be successful. And so, yeah, feeling pretty good. So we know that it's going to be a slugfest, as it was last time down there, no matter what the records are. So we don't take it lightly. I can assure you it's going to be some heads bumping, but let's see what happens.
Yeah. Okay.
You got it, Marcus.
Colonel Clark, I was going to ask, and actually JT has the question that I was going to ask. I was thinking as you were answering Kelvin's questions in terms of being able to put together those pieces and have alignment across all areas. And knowing your history of FAMU, being an alum, how much has the instability at key positions in terms of setting the vision, whether or between the athletic director and president, at FAMU's case over the last 20 years, how much has that instability impacted, or has it been the primary culprit in being able to establish that plan or have consistent vision and running with it?
You're referring to the situation at Florida A&M right now?
Yes. Well, not right now. I'm talking about the last 20 years.
Yeah. I think we've had ebbs and flows over a long period of time. When when we were rolling, we were certainly rolling. And so it's my hope and prayer that we will get back there. I hope that FAMU can get back there. But I also hope and challenge that the leadership of the university will step out on a whim, the design a game plan that the Rattler Nation can get behind, and let's figure out how to put the investment and the resources in that plan. I mean, the one thing that I can say about Bama State is the coaches ain't stressing about no resources. And so we don't want the coaches at FAMU to do the same thing. I mean, of course, that's my alma mater, and they're part of the SWAC. And it's my hope that, with the new leadership that's coming in the university, that there's something bold that happens. And, whether it starts at football, whether it's upgrading basketball, whatever it is, do something bold, excite the Rattler Nation, and I guarantee you they'll get behind you. It's evident how we traveled. It's evident how we'll give money if asked, and we know where those dollars are going to go to the bottom line. I mean, let's think about the field house. When I was National Alumni President, it was just an ask. Okay, we gonna do this, redo this field house. Okay, here's how much we need. Let's go do it, right? And it's got to be that kind. But I think where FAMU sits right now, it needs to be a bold step out on faith and trust that the alumni will get behind the leadership of the university and help drive this to fruition. So, Mark, it's been ebbs and flows. It is my prayer that it gets back to where it needs to be, because I can foresee a day, if that happens, I can foresee a day where FAMU, Alabama State, I'm talking about on the east side, Alabama A&M, FAMU, Jackson State, all of us, it's like it's going to be the games to be at, period. Whether it's football or whatever, I think that's where the power is going in life. And so, A&M is still steadily growing, and we don't need FAMU to regress, right? And so, but we need a commitment, and the commitment comes with, a strategic plan that I'm sure the athletic director will come up with if it hadn't already been developed. But once the AD comes up with that game plan, then we need the leadership to get behind it and take the whole step to get behind it. So I think that's where we are, Mark.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, sir. Yes, sir.
I was curious about before we kind of wrap up with you. Obviously, what the basketball program did, winning the SWAC, I believe winning a game in the NCAA tournament. There's a lot of excitement behind that, and I'm sure that helped in a lot of ways in terms of raising dollars. What? I'm asking you to speculate.
Okay.
Should the football program actually find a way to get to the Celebration Bowl, right? How would that compare? Or would it supersede anything that you were able to see or do get after the NCAA tournament with basketball?
Well, after basketball, I'll say this. Good question, Bryan. After basketball, it really elevated the brand of ASU another notch up. It helped with student recruitment quite a bit. And then it helped with fundraising. It was easier to make that ask. Now, we mess around there and get to the Celebration Bowl and win that. My job gets a lot easier. And the athletic director's job get a lot easier as far as asking for resources. And so, as with anything, when you winning, alums want to win, period. Supporters want to win. And so, right now we're doing pretty good. Ticket sales are up, and that was from last season, even football, but the elevation of basketball helped to flow into football. Ryan, I tell you, if we get there, the jobs get a little bit easier and raising money, and it really helps our brand even more at Alabama State University. And that's what I think with any school. If you winning, we get the pocket, as they say, the pockets get a little looser. The folks can find some money even when they don't have it to give to their university. And so I think that's where we need to be. And so we'll keep building. And I'm telling you the other thing, guys, I want to really build up this basketball rivalry between the two schools as well. I think baseball is there. I think baseball is already doing it, but I want to see basketball do it. And it might take, I don't know how that SWAC scheduling going, but it might take a Friday or Saturday game to kind of get it stirred up to where it needs to be. But I think overall, Bama State's in a good, solid place. And my prayer is that moving forward with the current university leadership is that we give the Rattler Nation something to be proud about, and let's figure out a way to put some resources into the program. Give the athletes the things they need to be successful. And that's really what it's all about, gentlemen.
Well, look, the rivalries are there. I mean, obviously it's there in football. Well, look, you gotta have some wins before it's a rivalry. Right. But the competition is there in football. But look, softball is there in softball. Is there in volleyball. Is there in baseball, as you mentioned. We get basketball going.
Cross country, yeah.
Thank you.
No,
I mean, look,
indoor track and indoor and outdoor track.
Oh yes, indoor track. Yeah. Hey, I think Greg, somebody needs to come up with like a cup, like an Alabama Florida Cup. Something that gets exchanged between the schools. Whoever wins the most games, tournaments, championships in an academic year, I don't know. I'm giving you an idea to run with. Feel free to take it. I know you make things happen, so that's why I'd say.
Look, and ironically, the function that we used to throw when I was still alumni president was called a 1085 party. So maybe it's the 1085 Cup or something like that, right? And so I'll talk to my president and we'll get with President Johnson and see if we can get that established. And, maybe it's a cup that starts with football. Maybe next year the win keeps it. It's the 1085 Cup or something. Great idea, guys. Yeah. Y'all got a great education at FAMU.
We just let us be on the coattails. Let us come up and present the trophies the first year or something. That's all we ask. They got to make us a title sponsor and that. Let us come up and hand the trophy to somebody. I don't know.
We'll make it happen. Y'all definitely Dr. Humphrey's kids, so you're doing all right, guys.
All right. Give another shout out. Let people know where they can find you. You're gonna be all over the place in Tallahassee this weekend, but let them know where you want people to come to this weekend.
Yeah. So Friday night, of course, it's on the rooftop of the Doubletree Hotel at I think it's called Eve. Yeah. So that's a joint party with Alabama State and FAMU. And so come on up, have a good time. And then of course Saturday 11 to 2 will be our tailgate. Actually, it's on the grassy area where Gibbs Hall used to be, and so we'll be doing that, and then we'll get ready to come on to the game. But we coming. Numbers are coming, and we're happy because like last year, every ticket y'all bought went to Alabama State's bottom line, and we're just here to return the favor or return the gratitude for that, and really really support. Our band will be there. So that'll be a good deal between both bands, and I think outside of that heat, if we can kind of get through that, I think we'll have a darn good weekend, y'all. But looking forward to seeing my fellow Rattlers and friends, and there again for the Hall of Fame on Friday night. Congratulations to all the inductees, and I look forward to putting the green jacket on and coming and greeting you.
Well said. As always, you're always welcome on the show. You're a friend of the ONG. So we appreciate you coming on and sharing some and enlightening us, because like I said, I know me personally, I see what they're doing up there in the state of Alabama, and it's like, man, boy, one day when we get it together, watch out, SWAC. When we get it together down in Florida, boy, watch out.
It's coming to a theater near you, pretty much. I'll come back, and maybe next time I'll get my counterpart at over at Alcorn, and we'll come on and talk about what we're doing and trying to partner with our ADs and raise money.
Love to hear that.
Okay.
Yeah, we definitely would love to hear that. So, all right. Well, hey, safe travels to you
we'll
and Hornet Nation. We will see you this weekend.
All right. Go Rattlers, go Hornets.
Keep doing big things, Grant.
I love y'all, brother. Y'all keep up the good work.
All right. Love you too,
man. All right, Kev. All right, take care.
All right. Good to have Colonel Clark on. Woo, boy. A lot of good stuff there, fellas. A lot of good stuff to chew on. Any instant reaction there before we go to break, Kelvin? I know a lot of stuff that
we know Greg and how he rolls, and it's just the way he thinks, and he's a person of action, right? And the commitment, it's just music to my ears. The commitment of athletics, from the leadership team to him, and that's how you win all those commissioner cups. That's how you had the facilities. I'm glad he told the story of the stadium. And one thing people may not know is a lot of relationships with FAMU and Alabama State, but the associate AD, when that stadium was going through that process of being constructed, as well as getting the financing, was a former Rattler basketball player, and he was the AD at that time that saw that project through. So FAMU Rattlers have been good to Alabama State in administrative roles.
Marcus, any takeaways you want to share here before we go to break?
No, it's just confirmation of what I know what you and Kelvin have already long talked about in terms of you need to have strong commitment and a plan. From the top, top down, you have to have strong commitment to the plan, and it can be personality driven, but it needs to be more objectively driven, something that can weather any transition or changes in leadership, but still be solid enough that the alumni can get behind it and drive it through.
And honestly, the person with the vision had to be the person to lead it. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, people give the relationships most of the time. So, right, if they know or they feel good about a person who's doing the asking, who's developing the vision, then they'll get behind it, they'll support it. If they have any question or any doubts, and you got the wrong mouthpiece, it don't matter how good the plan is, it'd be tough to build up the kind of support. But I pray also and am hopeful that new leadership brings a fresh look at some of the things we talk about with P3s and endowed scholarships. You heard Greg talk about endowed athletic scholarships and money for the players. So all those things matter if you're going to have a championship program. If you're going to win those trophies and be competitive in every sport, is required. The investment in facilities, things we've talked about that we'll talk about a lot more again now that we got some of our leadership transition out of the way and got the new leadership in. But yeah, I'm glad to see what they're doing, because that means that we can do it too.
All right, let's get ready to take our break. Very short break, because coming up on the other side, it is a big weekend. It's Alabama State weekend, centered in around the the SWAC volleyball season opener, where we welcome in Jackson State and Mississippi Valley State. But coming up on the other side, Nick Eden is going to join us, coming back to the O&G. Of course, the creator of the wildly popular HBCU Trending on Twitter, and the current creator and co-host of In the Quad with Nick Eden on HBCU Plus. So Nick's coming back, bringing back some good mojo. And so we can't wait to have Nick on the show and talk about and kind of see what his take is on some real interesting topics that he's got going on. This little thing going on in the band world. I don't know if y'all heard about what's going on in the band world. I don't know. We the defending champs. I don't know what's going on out there, but there's a lot of talk going on. But I know Nick's in the loop. He knows what's going on. So we'll talk to him. And then, of course, the big game this weekend, Bama State and FAMU in Tallahassee, 3:00 Eastern kickoff, 2:00 Central, game on HBCU Go. So hang tight. We'll be back in just a moment. You're watching the O&G Strike Zone right here on the Black College Sports Network. This is Bryan Fulford. AD Drew and I are co-hosts of the BCSN Sports Wrap. We talk about all things related to HBCU athletics. From the games, teams, coaches, and fan interest stories, we cover it all. You can find our shows on Facebook at BCSN Sports Wrap, YouTube at MyJBN Online, and everywhere you listen to podcasts like Anchor, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. You can also find the show on the Jericho Broadcast Network's app. Make sure to download. We look forward to you joining the conversation and being a part of the show.
The Cuvée Group is a Florida-based marketing and training consulting firm. We help businesses communicate to their target audience and engage them in conversation. We also help to expand their audiences, which will ultimately result in growth for those organizations. In addition to being a certified constant contact specialist, my colleagues and I are also certified in John Maxwell Leadership Principles. We use these proven principles to conduct workshops, training, and private coaching sessions for individuals and companies looking to take things to the next level. Contact us to schedule a free consultation. Issues today, don't delay, call Cuvée.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically Black colleges and universities legendary. HBCU Image, a Kenny T's company.
College football fans, a champion will rise in Atlanta on December 13th. MEAC champion, SWAC champion, the 10th Cricket Celebration Bowl, crowning an HBCU national champion. For event and ticket information, visit thecelebrationbowl.com. ESPN Events presents Red Lobster Band of the Year. Returning to Atlanta on December 12th, 4 bands will qualify for the big stage, where 2 national champions will be crowned. Follow us for rankings updates throughout the season, and join us on December 12th. For event and ticket information, visit bandoftheyear.com.
When it comes to professional learning, teachers deserve better. From the leader in online learning, Stride brings you the Stride Professional Development Center, an on-demand library of mobile-friendly courses that gives teachers choice and flexibility, allowing them to learn anytime and anywhere. Our dynamic courses provide bite-sized learning and help educators advance their knowledge while also gaining professional development hours. It's time you take charge of your learning. Visit us today to get started.
All right, welcome back to the O&G Strike Zone. Bryan, Kelvin, Marcus, and welcome back to the O&G. Our friend Nick Eden, the host of In the Quad with Nick Eden. Nick, glad to have you back on the O&G, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. Hey, look, I'm glad to be back. I'm glad you cleared that up a little bit, because y'all said co-host, and I'm like, no, In the Quad is owned by me 100%.
Exactly. I meant to say creator, and I think the C just kind of came out there. But yes, definitely creator and host. Right.
Absolutely. No, man, it's great to be back. What a difference a year makes. I've been watching y'all over the past year. I've loved how the show has grown. So shout out to y'all for that. So I'm glad to be back to talk a little football and some other. It seems like no matter what, even when I take a break from doing a calendar, I end up in the middle of some HBCU drama. So what can you say? It comes to me.
Well, okay. So what, so I was saying, because last year was sort of, you were transitioning away from the calendar. I think when we talked last year, if I'm not mistaken. And so you've given more emphasis to the show. What's the year been like? Have people, have you had the thirst to bring the calendar back, or just kind of what has the year been like for you?
Listen, when I tell you every week I pull up my phone because I'm like, I really should do a calendar this week. I'll be honest with you, I missed the calendar. But I'll tell you this. So this is what happened. So last summer, y'all know, I signed a deal for the podcast with Urban Edge Network. And, originally it was supposed to be just a video version of the calendar. So I did incorporate that later to the show, but initially it was supposed to be a weekly show where I did a review of the calendar. So I was going to drop the calendar on Saturday and then do the review on Monday, and that was the show. What ended up happening was it went from a weekly show to, and shout out to Hardy at Urban Edge, one of the co-founders and chief revenue officers. He's like, I think we should do a daily show. And y'all know this. This is not easy to do at any level. I think people think that we just hop up on StreamYard or OBS and, oh yeah, y'all just gonna talk. No, it is extremely difficult to produce a quality show.
Right.
And so I'm literally doing 5 days a week. And when I started it off, what was so crazy? So we started at the Orange Blossom Classic. That's where I debuted in the quad. Right after that, I go on the road for the Harris campaign. So I'm working 7 days a week on the Harris campaign in Pennsylvania and North Carolina. And so every morning I'm up at 5 o'clock. I'm pre-recording the show and then setting it to go live. So I'm literally in the middle of launching canvassers when the show was going on. And I was just like, look, I'm about to, I have no time to sleep, nothing, right? And so that went on. And then, of course, the election happened and we don't have to go into that. But so then I got a chance to be back home and I'm doing it. And I'm like, okay, it's still 5 days a week is a big lift. So it's been, and listen, I would love it. I would absolutely love it if I could do the calendar, still do In the Quad 5 days a week. But in the midst of that, I'm also a college and career counselor for Boys and Girls Club. I'm also the chair of my local Democratic Party. I also have, this thing called a family. I got 2 daughters I'm raising. So it's just like, look, something's got to give, right? So, for me, that was the biggest thing. And on top of that, in the midst of that, not only am I hosting the podcast on Urban Edge, now I'm the social media lead on it. And so that was fine for a little bit, but then we turned around and did a deal with the NAIA and added 240 schools to the network. So it's just, I would love to do it, but I have a lot of other obligations now. Yeah. But as we can tell, the news doesn't stop. It's still 7 days a week. Every day there's something going on in the HBCU world. So I think it's one of the beautiful things about the calendar is at any given time, I can pick it back up and it'll be, it'll be right back like like nothing happened.
Boy, that's a tough gig. That's a tough life you're running right there. I all respect. I thought I was busy, but I'm going to sleep feeling a lot more comfortable about life. Boy, I'm like, man.
Listen, I haven't had a Saturday off in 2 months.
Well, hey, look, it's football season, so maybe that'll be, we
always
on that.
That's true.
So Kelvin and Marcus, let me kind of get into the weeds with Nick on the big story that's been going on the past week, and it has to do with the Band of the Year competition. Of course, the Marching 100, the defending Band of the Year champions, and most recently, the school from Mississippi. We don't want to say their name too loud because then all of a sudden it just draws all kinds of, stuff. But they decided to, I will say, opt out of being in consideration for the Band of the Year. Now, I can toss jokes all day, but I'm going to avoid tossing jokes. Their complaints, because I did see your clip that you posted where you kind of talked about the plan, but I'm curious, it seems like there's a lot of disagreement or displeasure with the judging, even though there are accredited Hall of Fame worthy band people, HBCU band people that have been the co-chairs, that are the co-chairs, namely from our school and the school from in Mississippi. So what is the real issue? What is the problem?
So here's the thing. You got to look at the issue actually started in 2023, right? We're talking about something this is the 3rd year of this, and this is 2 years of tension in the making. So year 1, Jackson State I'm sorry I said their name, but
It's all good. It's all good.
JSU, Sonic Boom of the South participates year one, right? Now, from my understanding, it's just from my understanding, there was I don't know if it's included with the ESPN deal, but somewhere along the line, there are some rights there in terms of image, likeness, the whole nine from 2023. Okay. JSU participates year one. Everybody in the band world was a little bit iffy about band of the year when it started year one. I'm just going to be honest with you. It wasn't just a sentiment that was purely in Jackson, Mississippi. A lot of people had issues with it, and there seemed like there was a lack of transparency. And so what was said was, hey, we are, getting these submissions from bands every week. And those submissions of the field show are going to be adjudicated. The problem that came with that was everybody was not submitting videos every week. Like, that's not what was happening. What ended up happening was John Grant, and I had the pleasure of meeting John Grant at HBCU Game Day a couple of years ago during the Celebration Bowl. He came out and he says, look, whether or not a band submits a video, we're still going to judge based on what's out there. And when we talk about what's out there, you have to talk about the content creators and the YouTube channels that push this content. So Showtime Web, Killer Kev, Smash Time, BandTube HD, KB the Bandhead, all these different entities that put this, they go and they put this stuff out. And so then we're like, okay, so that's where you're getting it from. I felt a certain way about it because I said, well, if that's what you're going to do, then I feel like you should bring those people into the process. My biggest issue with it has always been expand the process because, one, it's a business move. Those folks have their own, like, we can talk about HBCU content all day, but you can look at the numbers. If you look at YouTube right now, HBCU band content drives viewership for HBCUs online.
Yeah.
It's not there. We can talk sports. I love talking sports.
Yeah.
None of us are getting the views that Showtime Web and Killer Kev are getting.
It's true.
It's just, it's not happening. And if they woke up with our views, they'd be ready to shut it down. Right. So it's what I'm like, let's use the people that are a part of this. This is something that the Honda Battle of the Band did really well. Like pre-pandemic, during their peak, they did this really well. They got the content creators involved at the time when it was really just like forums, just more of your prominent people within there. They got the music and band. I've talked about it before. I'm a member of FAMU Office, the oldest and largest music fraternity in the world. But they got the music fraternities and the band fraternities in it. And it's great, right? But it also brings in these databases of people, right? Like, they have their established fan base. They're going to go where they go. It's just a business move. And we saw how that didn't work out because nobody was there in 2023. 2024 was a little bit different because they also incorporated the high schools. And I will say this, I saw the crowds for both years. I didn't get a chance to attend, but I saw the crowd from both years. And I can tell you now, it wasn't mostly the college crowds that was there.
No.
Because if you didn't have Southwest DeKalb High School band in the stadium that night, you don't have a lot of people there. So now let's get to this year. In fairness to JSU told them last year, we do not want to participate. We will not be submitting videos. We don't want to be a part of this list that you put out every week. They continued to do it, which is why JSU was like, well, fine. Sonic Boom is just going to start running events concurrent to what y'all got going on because we don't want any part to do with it, and we've told you this. You get to this year, Dr. Little decides we're going to make a public statement so that everybody knows from the beginning, we got nothing to do with this. Now, they're not the only ones. Southern University Human Jukebox has also informed Band of the Year that they will not be taking any involvement or submitting any videos. It was not officially confirmed yet, but a little inside tip, Texas Southern, Oceans of Soul, as well as the Legion from Norfolk State are also following suit with not submitting any videos and not participating. And there's one more band that I cannot say yet, but the exact quote from the director was, "We ain't submitting ish." So now you're talking about 5 of the most prominent bands in HBCUs that are not participating. And from what I understand, there's more. I think the discussion blew up online because people started, particularly, and this is the crazy thing, I could almost see if the defending champions came out and had something to say about it. This is what I don't get about the argument. There was nothing wrong with what JSU did. Nothing, in my opinion. They said we don't want to participate. We don't want the illusion that we're participating. That's fine. My thing was, Marching 100 didn't say anything, and they're the defending champions. But here comes A&T. And y'all know, as former members of the MEAC, A&T has an unnatural ability of making a lot of things about themselves. and a lot of their alums took it as if it were an attack on them, which is why I said what I said on Twitter, which is this is not an attack on y'all. This is simply school saying that they're not going to participate. And when you look at the numbers, I don't care about how anybody feels about the school in Jackson. But when you look at the numbers and you see the performances, I think JTV just put them up the other day. You got Marching 100, I think it was like their field performance was like, I don't know, maybe 100,000, something like 100,000, something like that. BGMM, A&T, theirs was like 21,000. Sonic Boom in the South was 621,000. The numbers don't lie. And here's a little trick of the trade. If you want to get engagement in the HBCU space, mention Jackson State. Because they have a rabid fan base, and I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. But it's the truth. It is. I can look at my time when I was doing a calendar, without question, there were 2 schools where the engagement was always the highest. Jackson State and FAMU. Always. Especially last spring going into the summer. We don't have to talk about that. But that's the highest engagement there. So I can understand from Dr. Little's standpoint, he's like, listen, we get an unnaturally high amount of engagement online. And so you're putting them on a list and then you're purposely like nerfing them down a bit. Because again, I don't care what you feel about them. You cannot deny that Jackson State, Sonic Boom of the South, is one of the top bands, if not the top, when it comes to HBCUs. It just is. Everybody has had their time at the top. Things rotate. But yeah, it was pretty apparent that they get a large amount of engagement. And so he just said, look, we're just not going to participate. I don't see anything wrong with that. But I'm telling you now, I would expect within the next 2 weeks, you're going to see some more statements. But I know for a fact that 5 schools that are very prominent in the space are not participating. And so they will be getting, and you'll see, because they'll be getting judged by either some old footage or whatever footage the content creators on YouTube put out. But it's at least 5. And to me, that's a problem that ESPN and Band of the Year is going to have to address, because the other problem with that is you're still not getting people in those seats. Like you're just not. Honda Battle of the Bands went to Inglewood last year and they sold the place out. Like there's something, like I think the biggest problem is there's a big money grab that comes into, or the perception that there's a money grab that comes in with Band of the Year. I don't think it's a problem with the adjudication. I think the problem is when band culture is separate on its own, right? If you want a good example of the band being able to survive without an athletic program, look at Talladega. They got rid of their football team, and the marching band has never stopped. So I think even when you have legendary directors involved, so you can have somebody that's great in the space, that doesn't mean they know how to put on an event. And right now they're not putting butts in the seats. And at the end of it, that's the ROI they're going to be looking for. So that's just kind of where it is right now. And I mean, unfortunately, it's getting ugly, but I'm thinking it's going to probably even out. The one thing I know about this space and have known for the last 3 years is that something else is going to happen. Something else is going to happen, fortunately or unfortunately, and that's going to make everybody say, "Hey, okay, now we're on to the next."
I got so many questions. I may have to follow up with you on this on like a Sunday show, or you may have to have me on in the quad because I got questions. I have so many questions, Nick.
Hey, let's do it.
Let me give it over to Marcus and Kelvin so they can get some questions in there with you. Go ahead, Marcus. I'll start with you. Marcus, you on mute.
Good evening, Nick. Thanks for jumping on. Question for you. For this game coming up this weekend, we have our perspective as FAMU fans and alums, but what do you think the biggest difference is for this game coming up compared to years in the past? Or what will be the biggest difference?
It depends on how far back you want to go, right? I try to tell people who are, because I do still think that there are people, the SWAC kind of has a bubble about itself, right? And they don't really think about anything that's going on outside of it. Football fans, sports fans, alums, we know there's a long storied history between FAMU and Bama State. And we've talked about this before. There is a storied history there. There's a shared lineage there. It's to me, it's one of my favorite rivalries in this because it's a multi-sport rivalry that goes back. But when you're talking specifically about football, there's always some type of implication. Now, when you talk about since FAMU has been in the SWAC, we're talking about year one where no question, FAMU Rattlers absolutely dominated Bama State. I have to go back and look at that game. I was thinking about this earlier. I don't think we got past the 50 in that game. That was also the last year of Donald Ely, and y'all know, because y'all have had y'all history with the dark years. The Ely years at Bama State were the dark years. That's how I got the name Hornet Holic, because I had to be drunk to watch the games. It was that bad. The only reason he held his job for an extra 5 months is because he beat Dion in the spring game. That's it. Everybody was ready for him to go. So that first year, no question, FAMU comes in, dominates. It's no doubt about that. The second year, you've got your NASU Stadium. I want to say the score was it was a 2-point score. Bama State goes up for the field goal, misses the field goal. FAMU runs it in. Yeah. Bam, you win. Which I would rather take the blowout than a game like that because my heart can't take that kind of stuff. The next year, we go down to Bragg. And at that point, and I've been publicly critical of Coach E-Rob and the decision to do the whole, we're going to be dueling quarterbacks. I think that's just, I've never liked it with any program, and I didn't like it when we did it. But you get Damon Stewart, who gets the ball in the second half, and all of a sudden, Bama State mounts a comeback, but it's not enough. And then you get last year, where we're down to literally our 5th string quarterback. And I would like to say that everybody said Bama State's season was done. When Andrew Body went down to the OBC, they were like, oh, they're going to have a terrible season. Valley's going to have a better record than them. And I know y'all ain't got any sympathy for Valley, but we put 51 on Valley with a 5th string quarterback. So I didn't want to hear that, right? But so the difference is, for the first time in a very long time, because the last time we won the SWAC, I was in school. We have our QB1 and it's definitive. That's the difference. We've had a quarterback rotation every year that we played FAMU since coming into the SWAC. And that's the difference. Now, I will say both teams have taken a bit of a hit on the defense. So I'm interested to see how that plays out, because you're talking about 2 of the top 4 defenses in HBCU football And we both, it's a little step back, but that's going to be the difference. But now my question then goes to, because I know everybody keeps harking back, and I'm telling you right now, I'm not the person. If y'all have noticed, if you see my timeline, you've not seen me bragging one game this year, because I took the directive from E-Rob. He's like, look, no more talking. It's this week and this week only. We'll see y'all next week. So I haven't done any bragging, and I won't do any bragging. Now I'm telling you, Bama State gets the Celebration Bowl, it's gonna be ignorant. You understand me? It's gonna be a whole nother level of ignorance that y'all think. If people thought that I was straight ignorant when we won the SWAC in basketball last year, oh my goodness. I think I did like 5 outfit changes in that show after that game. But I think the difference is this year, and I mean this, it can get ugly for the Rattlers if Andrew Body comes in with the look in his eye like he did at UAB, like he's got something to prove. If he comes in hot like he did then, it might get ugly. But the difference is, and I've been trying to explain this to people all week, the difference is this ain't Protective Stadium in Birmingham.
That's right.
The difference is now you're in Bragg. And I don't know, folks that are watching that are not FAMU alums or if you've never been to a game in Bragg, the only environment that I would say is similar in the hostility is Mumford for Southern. They're on you. Listen, the Rattlers are on you. And if he can tunnel vision that, and not let that get to him, then it's gonna be done. And if Bama State gets up like 20, maybe even 30 by the half, if he silences Bragg going into halftime, it's gonna be a hard time for the Rattlers. But I'm interested in seeing it because it's like, no, y'all got let's be real. The whole thing a couple of weeks ago with Albany State, it was like, nah, bro, we can't have this. I was watching the game. I was like, nah, man, we can't. Y'all can't do this to me. Y'all can't do this to me. Not Albany State. And then y'all got a tough, everybody has kind of counted y'all out this year, right? And you do, and in fairness, you do have some tough home opponents. Mm-hmm. But if I'm looking at history, I don't see how everybody thinks that it's going to necessarily be a gauntlet run in Bragg. I don't see that. But it's going to be some challenges. It really is. So, like I said, I'm interested in seeing it. Like I said, I'm not going to brag, but I'm telling you that the major difference is that we finally have our QB identity, which everyone has said for the last few years. If E-Rob can get that, now we got something. And we've seen it. We've seen what it's been like these last few weeks.
Mm-hmm. Good stuff. SWAC East overall is probably, I think it's going to be the toughest it's been in the 4 years that it's been in the way it is. Because I think amongst all of us, and I say us being us, the school in Mississippi, y'all, 2 Alabama schools, that's 3 games that are going to be tough games. And it's going to come down to, I don't know how much of who has the home advantage. Like we have 2 of the 3 at home. Where do you guys? Well, obviously you have 1 neutral site, 1 home, probably 1 away, right? Or so the Mississippi
all
school
of our. If I go by, and I hate to say this because any given, there's no such thing as a cupcake game.
No.
There's no such thing as a cupcake game. I will say our home schedule is very favorable to us from a traditional standpoint, right? It's our away games, right? And so that first, you start off at UAB in Birmingham, then you turn around and you go to Southern, which again is hostile, but then you turn around and you got Miles the next week, and Miles is not the same Miles that it was when Sam Shade was there,
right?
It isn't. But we've got you all in Bragg, we've got JSU in the Vet, we've got A&M at Magic City Classic. And so it's not a situation where the most important games, we have the comfort of home field advantage. Now, I will say this. It's funny when you look at, especially within the last 10 years or so, when we play Jackson State in ASU Stadium, they beat us. When we play Jackson State in the vet, we beat them. So it's really interesting going into this year that, let's be honest, all three of those are high-profile games, and they all have championship implications. With the way that the schedule is setting itself up now, especially with how early everything is being played, like you got to think, we got so we got y'all Saturday, and you turn around, we got Bethune for homecoming next week, and then you turn around the week after that, we got Jackson. If we pull out Saturday and JSU's homecoming, that means it's very likely if A&M continues on their track, the Magic City Classic could very well decide to SWAC East. So it's a lot of pressure because it's like within all of that, we don't get the advantage of home at any of them. So we're walking into every high-profile game, we're walking into hostile territory. You know, neutral site, Magic City Classic, of course, but we're still not home, and that's the difference.
All right. Good stuff. Go ahead, Kelvin.
So first of all, are you going to make it down for the game?
Listen, I was planning on it. I got my youngest this weekend, and I'm still probably about 50-50 just getting in the car on Saturday morning and say, look, I'm only 4 hours away from Tallahassee, and she's been begging me to go to a SWAC game this year. So I'm like, I might have to just go ahead and put, but I don't know, because I'm going to tell you something. I don't know if I want to expose my 10-year-old to FAMU just yet. And let me tell you why.
Because you'll be a rattler.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking.
No, let me tell you why. When I say that there is a shared history, I don't mean just from the Bama State perspective. I mean, even me just personally, right? Like there is I think about now, my classmate, shout out to my classmate, Dr. Ernesto Bowman, who he did his undergrad at Fisk, but he got his master's and his PhD at FAMU. He taught there for 8 years before going to Morgan State and eventually now at Bama State. Shout out to my other classmate, Dr. Brandy Tatum Frederick, who is, recently named and so, by the way, because I know y'all got issues with that school in Jackson, but some of y'all be talking about Mississippi education, and many people from Mississippi have gone on and they're teaching and leading at FAMU. I just want to go ahead and put that out there. But no, shout out to Dr. Brandy Tatum Frederick, who is the acting VP of Institutional Advancement at FAMU. She's a 2-time FAMU grad. So there has been a pipeline for as far back as I can remember from my city, Gulfport, Mississippi, and my high school, Gulfport High School, to people who attend FAMU. I got 2 classmates, both their daughters are there at FAMU. Y'all almost got my daughter. Almost got my daughter, my oldest, a couple of years ago, because we were in Florida for a vacation and we stopped at FAMU's campus and she fell in love with the campus. So I'm just not sure that my youngest needs to have her first SWAC game at Bragg. I feel like there's got to be a buffer of ASU before.
Yes.
Before we go down.
Let it go. Let it go.
Right. You know, I feel that. No, you got to let her, you got to take her home to ASU. Homecoming next week. That's got to be the first game, because if you let that first experience
no.
Oh, not homecoming.
Brian, I have a rule. Let me explain something to you. I have a rule. Listen, I've currently got a niece, one of my students that I consulted, and a little cousin. My little cousin, shout out to Alice. She's one of the she's a freshman honeybee. She's one of the honeybees this year. All 3 of them at Bama State right now. I have told them, and I have been consistent about this for years. When I get into town on Wednesday, everything you need, we can handle right then. I'm gonna take you shopping, take you get something to eat. We can do all the things. After Wednesday night, do not look for Uncle Nick unless it's an absolute emergency. Because Uncle Nick will be drunk for 3 days. I have to have contingencies. Like if it's an emergency, I got some contingencies. But for right now, so no, and for sure not my kids. No, they can't see that part of me. One, I don't know if y'all have experienced this. I've had too many times where I have my family around my classmates from college, and they just talk about a part of me that the family don't need to know about.
You don't want the family to know that, yeah.
Yeah, no. So we're thinking Turkey Day. We're thinking Turkey Day will take her down. Or something nice like Texas Southern, something like that. Like it's nice, no pressure game.
Texas Southern. Oh man, good stuff. What else you got, Kelvin?
Well, Nick, so talk about what you've seen out of FAMU this year.
I'll be honest with you. What I've seen out of FAMU, I think that I'm trying to think of the best way to say this. What I've seen out of FAMU is I have seen people count y'all out, and I have seen the Rattlers on the field get angry. And this is why the second half is notoriously dangerous for anybody playing FAMU. Like I felt like, especially last week, there was an embarrassment where it's like Albany State is up. And don't get me wrong, I don't want to sound like I'm coming down on Albany State, right? But I know firsthand what it's like when you're in a rebuilding time and a strong Division II team comes and they punch you in the mouth. I think that y'all were able to come back from that. I think that you can't, and I keep blanking. I've been trying to think of it the last 5 minutes. I keep blanking on the QB's name. But you can't deny the fact that this young brother has still thrown 677 yards. Like he's still within like top 4 or 5 of yardage in the quarter. Like it's not a cakewalk. It's not a cakewalk. I think that right now, FAMU is on RJ Johnson. Thank you. I think that right now, FAMU is on a lot of people's hit list because a lot of people see, oh, it's a wounded animal, right? And I think what'll make the difference in it is if FAMU takes that stance. I'm a wounded animal. My back is against the wall. Because that's what we got last year. Fifth string quarterback. Oh yeah, we finna run roughshod on Bama State. And what you did was you had this collection of young men who felt their backs were against the wall and they were angry. I saw that out of FAMU last week, which is why I'm like, no, I'm not saying that this is going to be a guaranteed win, an easy win, or anything like that. No, absolutely not. And I think that if anybody does that, if anybody thinks that, it's going to be ugly. And it's a lot of people that have already counted y'all in the win column. And
really?
I'm telling you, it's going to get ugly because the last thing you want to do is you don't want to piss off a team with especially the run that y'all have had since y'all gotten into the SWAC by dismissing them. I've already heard people say, oh, this is the weakest FAMU has ever been. Yeah, that's going to get somebody punched in the mouth. And I think that's what we're looking at. So I think it's one of the reasons that I do like the rivalry between us because it's come from a place of respect.
Yep.
Right. Yep. Like I've always had a good time in Bragg. You always come and have a good time in Montgomery. Yep. Save for the knucklehead young man who decided to hit the security guard last year, who I immediately condemned. The school immediately condemned him, and he was off the team in 24 hours. It's always been a mutual respect. Yeah. Y'all, now your classic rivalry obviously is Bethune-Cookman. Sure, we know that. I wouldn't classify Jackson State as rivalry. Y'all got beef. That's not a rivalry. That is beef.
Bryan got beef.
Man, look here.
This is the way they like to come after you. You know, they find little things to come after you. So I but anyway, go ahead.
Listen, I'll say this much. When you look at the other schools, and this is not a knock on them, when you look at the other schools in the SWAC, everybody's got about 3 marquee games that decide their season. For y'all, obviously, you got your traditional rival with Bethune, you got Jackson State, you got us. That's no disrespect to the West, but I don't think anybody, I mean, yeah, Prairie View did their thing last year, but traditionally, it's not like the West has just been that big of an issue for y'all. For us, it's y'all, A&M, Jackson State. Jackson State, it's like y'all, us, Grambling, Southern, Alcorn, like they just go at it with everybody. And as somebody who grew up in Mississippi, I understand because it is, there are 2 schools, because y'all are a lot more alike than y'all would like to admit. There are 2 schools that generationally
Damn, telling the truth.
Yeah, you generationally indoctrinate people, and that's JSU and FAMU. And as someone who's I've got multiple Rattlers in my family, I got multiple Tigers in my family. It is something that y'all indoctrinate your children with from the very beginning. So y'all are a lot more alike than you would like to admit. But you know that. But I do think that's what keeps it spicy, and I do think that's what I think. Eventually, I'm not going to say it's going to be in the next even 5 years. Eventually, I do think that because a lot of the higher profile games continue to come out of the East, I think that's going to go for that argument of eliminating divisions within the conference, which I think is going to be the great thing. Because I do think that even if you go back to year 1, the 59-3, if you go back to that, definitively FAMU was still was the second best team in the SWAC.
Yeah.
If you take away the divisions, now you got the rematch between y'all weren't gonna go touchdownless again.
No,
I'm not saying that you would have won it, but I am saying is it would have been a great game. That was year 2 in the SWAC, my bad. But the only other time that we've seen this whole rematch in the championship is Prairie View against y'all. And let's be honest, that was a bad Prairie View team.
Yep.
And y'all dominated them both times.
Yeah,
we did.
Right. The rematch, though, just the story behind the rematch was enough to get everybody going. Right. So that's why I'm like, no, you eliminate these divisions and you just have the best 2 teams go at it.
Yeah.
It just makes sense.
All right, look, hey, we just got to get through this 10-year contract, and then maybe we'll get there because we're in year. What is this year? This is year 5, so we got to deal with divisions for another 5 years, unless they come to some sort of agreement. But you know, we'll see. But yeah, we're in the midst of it. All right, Nick, you've been great with your time this evening. I want you to kind of wrap up our time with you and just kind of give the plugs, let people know how they can find you, when they can watch the show. And then, you know, we always like to give you the opportunity, our guests, the opportunity to tell us how, if, you know, we think it's, you know, when, if it's going to happen, how is it going to happen where Alabama State beats FAMU? How?
Okay. All right, let me go right to that then. Again, because I told y'all this year, I'm not bragging on anything. This is how, in this scenario, this is how this goes. If you get a hot Andrew bot at the beginning of the game and you get up 14-0, it's very likely you'll at least be at about 21 by the time halftime starts. Both teams this year have shown that they can be that second half, let me come back and fight through to the end. Unfortunately, if this turns into a shootout, it's not going to work well for FAMU. And I said it time and time again, a healthy body is a dangerous body. And if they've got 14 to 21 points over the Rattlers going into halftime, even with the comeback, and they're still going, because he's going to keep his foot on the gas. If you did not see it, if you did not see the UAB game, he was upset at Coach Erob because Coach was like, "Now I'm gonna take you out at the end." He wanted to win that game because he wanted to silence everybody. If you get that alpha male Andrew Body in there and he runs up the score early enough, even with the comeback, you're probably going to be looking at about, I say, 35-24 Bama State.
Okay.
That's my prediction on it. 35-24 Bama State. If it's a shootout, I'm telling you, y'all are not going to win a shootout this year.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Yeah, that's good analysis.
Good analysis. Good way. That's good stuff. Good stuff. Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
Definitely.
Let people know how they can find you, where they can find you, Nick.
Yeah. So you can find me at Nick Eden everywhere, at Nick Eden on TikTok, at Nick Eden on Twitter, at Nick Eden on Instagram. You can catch in the quad. There won't be a show this week, next Friday. So I have switched it from going daily because, as we know, daily is not going to work. So in the quad is now weekly. It is going to be Fridays at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I appreciate anybody who comes and takes an hour with me. And you can catch that exclusively on Urban Edge Network. The UEN app is free for those. And listen, there's a lot of games on there. I know we're very NAIA heavy, but you can still see some great football from schools like Florida Memorial, great basketball, volleyball from the HBCU AC schools like Tougaloo, Dillard, Wilberforce, so on and so forth. So it's a lot that's going on there, but it's worth your time to download. But definitely Fridays, 5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Eastern. It's on the HBCU Plus channel on the UEN app. So you can catch it there, and then you can catch the replays right afterwards. And maybe the calendar will come back. I will say this much about the calendar before I go. Let me say this much. I am still going to do an end of the year review. Anybody who's been following the calendar, they know at the end of the year, I take the top stories from each month and I do a 12-month calendar that I drop. So that is still going to happen.
Okay.
If it starts to get too spicy, I might bring it back. I might try to bring it back weekly, because the one thing I wanted to do, and I don't know why I never thought of this, it wasn't until my oldest daughter suggested it. She was like, "Dad, why didn't you just ever do like an actual physical calendar?" And I'm like, "Well, sweetheart, you can't." She was like, "No, an actual physical calendar, it's a part of your brand, but do a physical calendar with all the key dates when it comes to HBCUs throughout the year." And I was like, from the mouth of babes. So I may just actually do that and do a physical calendar that everybody can have on there. So all the important dates like Celebration Bowl, SWAC MEAC Challenge, all the things, all the big classics will be there. So I'm still thinking about that, and it's something that I may actually do that.
I like that.
Yeah, I like that. Well, okay. We look forward to it again. Nick, appreciate your time. Make sure to check out In the Quad on the UEN Network, HBCU Plus. And like I said, I got more questions, Nick. So I'm gonna have to find you on Friday.
Yeah.
And I got so many more questions. But we'll talk.
And I'm gonna speak it. And I'm gonna speak it into existence. I'm looking forward to meeting Nick and the Little Rattler Saturday.
Why don't you do that? Would you do that? I might, if that's the case, I might just leave it with my mama and just be like, "Look, I'll be back."
That's great. Hey, we get it. We have a little gift bag and everything for it, Kelvin. Right? We get some little.
That's right.
Hold on, get them where them pom-poms at? Hold on, where them pom-poms?
Speaking of gift bags,
them orange and green.
Speaking of gift bags, I have got to shout out when Bama State went against St. Francis in the NCAA tournament. I have got to shout out the Rattlers for the alumni chapter who brought all the bags and everything for it. It was a beautiful thing to see. I absolutely love it. This is one of the things that I love about. I don't even call ours just like a rivalry per se, but I just love the camaraderie between the two schools. And so I gotta shout y'all out for that, man. Like seriously, and I'm telling you, talking to those kids, it meant the world to them. It really did. So I just gotta shout y'all out for that.
Sure. Hey, HBC love. Shout out to the Rattlers there in that was in the Ohio area, correct?
That was in the Ohio area. Yep.
Yeah. Shout out to them for that. All right, Nick. Well, hey man, always appreciate you coming in. Appreciate your content and your work. And man, be well. Get some rest when you can. I know it's hard, and we'll see. Hopefully, we get a good game. Hopefully, it won't be too spicy one way or the other. Good for a short time, but not a long time. How about that?
Right. Absolutely. It's gonna get a little spicy. It's sports. It's supposed to be.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, Nick Eden. Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
All right, y'all. Take care.
You too.
All right. Well, Marcus got plans. Marcus said he's got to start to shut it down. So we still got a little meat left on the bone. But Marcus, we'll let you get out of here and kind of give us maybe your keys to the game and your quick score prediction before we take a break and then come back with our last thoughts and segment here.
The key to the game is stopping their offense. I haven't really tracked, and I know there's been some articles this week about, I think Alabama State has a number 1 offense and number 2 overall defense in the conference. But the key for us is if we can have a defensive performance that would be able to slow them down and score something. Obviously score enough points. But my biggest concern is probably how to slow them down on offense. As far as, score, I'm a homer, so I'm going to keep it, homer. I'm going to say 28-24 us. But it's going to be.
You said 28-24?
Yep.
Okay.
I think we're going to need some points. Now, I haven't really kept track of their defense as it relates to, compared to years past. And I believe they've only played one SWAC opponent, and I don't believe it counted as a conference game. I think when they played Southern.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know how much of a gauge. And this will be our first conference game, our second FCS game overall, if you include the OBC. So I'm curious to see how we come out and see how well they come out. But I'm gonna be homer and go 28-24, but not even gonna lie, a healthy Andrew Body is a concern. And the reason I asked Nick about the biggest difference is I agree with him, the quarterback, and all the years, even with the exception of the first year in 2021, we had Rashawn McKay, and I think they had a true freshman playing quarterback that year. Other than that, we've had the advantage of the quarterback in terms of experience, even with Danny Richardson last year. He was an experienced quarterback, even though it's fourth year with the FAMU. So this is the first time they come in with an experienced quarterback that's not a transfer coming in or someone who's really, really green at the position.
Okay. You got a bold prediction?
I'm going to say a defensive touchdown.
Okay. I like that. All right. So put that into the logs. Marcus 28-24 with the defensive touchdown. Might be the key to the game. Might be the key to the score, right? So I like that.
Yeah, we've had at least, and I don't remember all the games, but I know in at least 2 of them. We had Isaiah Major run back, the interception. We had the block kick in 2022. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and last year I think we had one. I want to say, his name slips my name, but he's our linebacker. Didn't he?
Yeah.
Cause a fumble and run it back to kind of cap off the last score.
So we had 3 of the 4 years we've had a defensive or special teams touchdown.
Yes.
Ooh, that's a great trend, Mark.
And I hate that I can't remember his name. It's just right on the tip of my tongue, but he's a friend of the program because we helped send him to Fellowship of Christian Athletes.
Nayron Jenkins.
Nayron Jenkins. Yeah, I think Nayron ran one back last year. I think it was a fumble late in the game. And I know Isaiah Major ran back that interception to give us the winning score in 2023 and 2022. We had the block kick. I don't remember 2021. I know it was like 28-0, but I don't know if we had a defensive touchdown or a special teams touchdown.
They missed about four. They missed about 4 field goals last year too.
Yeah, I think that first year was the year that. No. I was thinking one of those years was the introduction of. No, it was the first year. That's the one where Isaiah Land like just went ham, and all of a sudden went on everybody's radar. He had like four sacks, 4 or 5 sacks.
Yeah. That was in Bragg, and we pretty much beat the hell out of him that year.
Yes, that was year one. Yeah. So good stuff, man. Good stuff, Marcus. Okay. Well, hey, Marcus, as always, we appreciate you. And everybody else, hang tight. Coming back on the other side, we got some other news and notes to share. Also, kind of give a little breakdown about the volleyball match coming up against Jackson State and Mississippi Valley State. And then Kelvin and I will kind of give our thoughts and breakdown of the game as well. So any last words or anything else, Marcus?
No, actually, I didn't get a chance to update the roster, or at least the slideshow. But tennis, they got the roster updated. We've got 4 new players. Looks like 3 freshmen, and we knew about 1, Gabrielle Pierce from DC. We have a couple other players. Finally saw the name of the person from Augusta that Coach Nikki mentioned way back, and I couldn't find it all summer. So that's updated. So we've got 3 or 4 freshmen and a transfer from Tennessee State. And actually, a couple of them were in that picture from the U.S. Open, and I just didn't know who the faces were, and I couldn't tell. But now we put names of faces.
Okay.
So she's got a full squad. She's got about 8 or 9 players now.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's an improvement from last year where we were down. We had the minimum. We had 6 last year, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, we'll make sure to put together a little, maybe a photographic and give people a view of our tennis roster next week on next week's show. How about that?
Okay. Yeah, I'll work on that.
All right. Good stuff. Marcus Green, ladies and gentlemen, you know where to find him at Decatur_G. Hang tight with us on the other side. Kelvin and I, we will go through some other news and notes and kind of put a bow on the show. You're watching the O&G Strike Zone right here on the Black College Sports Network. We'll be back in just a moment.
You're looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics. There's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
Planning an event? From weddings to corporate functions, CMJ Events LLC brings over 15 years of experience to make your vision a reality. Based in Metro Atlanta and serving statewide, even internationally, we provide versatile event planning and authentic catering cuisines tailored to your needs. Whether it's pre-game meals for student athletes, fundraisers, weddings, corporate functions, CMJ Events LLC is your one-stop solution for exceptional service and unforgettable food. Our diverse culinary heritage means we cater to all cultural tastes, dietary needs, and food restrictions, making every meal uniquely yours. Let's make your next event unforgettable. Visit us on all social media at CMJ Events LLC or email us at cmjeventsllc@gmail.com. Also give us a call at 404-664-3882 so that we can start planning now.
College football fans, a champion will rise in Atlanta on December 13th. MEAC champion, SWAC champion, the 10th Cricket Celebration Bowl, crowning an HBCU national champion. For event and ticket information, visit thecelebrationbowl.com.
Since 2002, Empowerment Resources, Inc., a nonprofit organization, has empowered more than 1,500 youth and adults in Duval and surrounding counties. Through its programs, Journey into Womanhood, Girls Mentoring, Life Skills for Teens, and parenting education coaching. To get involved with programs, volunteer, or donate, visit www.empowermentresourcesinc.org. Follow us on social media, facebook.com/empowerment.resources and instagram.com/empowermentJAX.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. HBCU Image, a Kenny T's company.
ESPN Events presents Red Lobster Band of the Year. Returning to Atlanta on December 12th, 4 bands will qualify for the big stage, where 2 national champions will be crowned. Follow us for rankings updates throughout the season, and join us on December 12th. For event and ticket information, visit bandoftheyear.com.
All right, welcome back to the O&G Strike Zone. Bryan and Kelvin here for the close of the show. Kelvin, what's your take on the? I'm just fascinated by the whole Band of the Year thing, and what? Before I give my thought, what are your thoughts on that?
I always talk about HBCUs and in terms of FAMU, but just in general, about being good partners with events. To me, I look at it the same way as I look at if someone said they didn't want to participate in the SWAC challenge or the Celebration Bowl. As a conference, there was a commitment that was made. And there is some money involved. There's also an opportunity being taken away from some kids. And while I understand band culture is different, however, there was a commitment that and is advertised, and what sold, I'm sure part of the formula that sold this event that came about with ESPN was the fact that you were going to have participation from the conferences and the band membership. There's a lot of reasons why you can say, you know, auxiliaries is different. You know, I understand the concern of scoring for the band heads and the technical aspect of it. But at the end of the day, it's just something fun. I know they used to not being adjudicated, but you participated already. You're still doing halftime shows. So, I mean, it's kind of stupid for me as a non-band head, because nothing really changes other than you taking yourself out of opportunity to earn some money and a all expenses paid trip and some publicity. And I think for me, it seems more egotistical than it does. I mean, what was the real issue? Other than, you know, the only thing you really got was respect my decision, personal preference. And what is that? You know what I'm saying? So I want to respect each university, but for me, this is a conference thing. It was commitment made. And this is how potential big events don't last potentially, because, you know, honestly, Sonny Boone is a big brand. It's one of the iconic bands, and so is Norfolk. You know, we need all of them participating. Now, if they want to change it, and I don't know how you do it and change it from, if you don't adjudicate, then how do you choose who participate in the in December, right? So it's got to be some kind of adjudication, and no matter what you come up with, bands got different styles, they got different auxiliaries, so it's nothing that can be done that's gonna change that part of it. So folks just got to come to a happy medium. If you got some ideas to improve it, why not do that versus saying
taking
your ball and going home. That's my thing.
That's what it feels like. That's what it feels like. I'm gonna take my instrument and go home. Because look, if you wanted to be judged by the fans, well, I mean, isn't that what they do at the Battle of the Bands? I mean, that's all that is. It's like, hey, whoever has the most.
They don't really adjudicate. I don't think at the Battle of the Bands, right? So it's not a true judging. But folks, but people root for who they root for.
Right. People will, because somebody will eventually put a poll out that says what? Who was the best performing band at the Honda Battle of the Bands, right? And then you get to walk home with this, hey, we were elected the fan favorite for the 5th year. Well, I mean, look, if you have a rabid fan base, they're going to vote for you regardless. You might misstep and step out of line. It was the field was wet. We still love our band, so we're going to vote for him because we can't vote for the other guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, this is a far stretch, but just think, what if, I know this would never happen, but just imagine what if, because this is affiliated with ESPN and they do show at the halftime of games, bands. What if ESPN said, oh, well, you don't want to participate. Well, we won't show your band during the halftime of these broadcast games. I mean, I'm going wild left here, but just a thought, and I don't think that would happen.
And I remind you, Brian, when we had our assistant director of marching bands on, Jean-Pierre, he mentioned that there was, in the 100 discussion, there was concern about adjudication because it was something new and something they typically don't do. Right. They have turned down, like, for instance, roles with drumline because it was going to appear that it was adjudication and it was going to lose. So I get that part of it, but ultimately they made a decision to participate, and they won in year 2 of participating. And I'm just saying, take something that's good and make it better. Versus, I got an issue with this particular thing, so I'm not going to participate. Because honestly, man, it opens the door for everybody else. You heard Nick reference other schools, and I would tell you, I've heard too that moving forward, whether schools will participate is going to be in question, and so you kind of open Pandora's box with this public announcement, and it's just unfortunate because I think it's a new event. I think it is a way of promoting our HBCUs, and it could be something good. And again, there is some exposure and some money behind this. So I would love to see our conferences build this up collectively. Each institution be committed to it, to build it up and make it better.
And here's another thing that people have to start getting used to. And I heard Nick say this about the attendance at the Band of the Year competition. Regardless of what the attendance is, it's not a factor in the money that the band programs are being given.
Right.
Hey, take note of that. They're still, regardless of whether nobody but mamas and daddies and local high school kids show up, it doesn't matter. Because guess what? It's going out on television. It's going to be seen by whoever it's going to be seen by, and the major network is paying money. So whether you go to
it got a title sponsor. It's Red Lobster.
I mean, come on, and you getting all it again.
There's a lot of good reasons. There's a lot of good reasons to support this event.
It is a lot of good reasons to support it and work with it to try to improve it versus saying, I don't like A and B, and because of A and B, we're going to leave. It's like for example, I'll use the parallel and I'll move away. A lot of people are voting on teams in various polls. Like I saw one president of a Division II school be very vocal and upset at a poll, a top 5 poll, 4 weeks into the season,
Right.
because his school was ranked behind another school that they beat. If you know, you know, right? And I'm like, well, you know, do we know all the maybe the pollsters didn't watch the game. Maybe they watched the game. Maybe they watched half of the game. Maybe they maybe they looked at the statistics. Maybe they were on site. Maybe they weren't. Does it matter? Really? And week 4, it doesn't matter. But how we watch the games and how we vote, whether you submit the video or whether I watch the video, aren't I seeing what I see? Right? I mean, so I just, you know, it's sad, and it's sad to hear some of the top bands choose to fall in line in this way and miss out on an opportunity. And then at the same time, how many of these schools will be complaining and talking about, oh, we don't have money to travel. We don't have money to do this. We don't have money to do that. Well, hey, you just Calvin Hobbs, or you know, the little kid, you just took a number one all over the best idea of getting free money for your program, doing something you were already scheduled to do 7 to 8, 9 weeks out of the football season, which is performed during halftime.
And it's not like the conference or the school came up with this concept. This was something that was done and presented and brought to us to
help the band programs financially with money, because every band program is looking for money so that they can take these large groups of 200 to 300 students to
just get the instruments or the cover, scholarship costs. Absolutely. It's taking away of the opportunity is something that just doesn't sit well with me for the students.
So I guess we'll see how this plays out. It'll be interesting to watch how it plays out over the next few weeks, you know. But anyway, let me transition to a second to big news coming out of Florida A&M University, as it was announced yesterday that Florida A&M University remains in the top 100 among more than 1,700 U.S. colleges and universities, ranked in the 2026 top public schools by U.S. News and World Report. The 2026 edition of the U.S. News Best College Rankings uses up to 17 factors to measure academic quality and graduate success. In addition, FAMU remained the highest rated public historically Black college or university and 5th among all private and public HBCUs. FAMU is one of 3 Florida schools that ranked in the top 25 on the U.S. News Social Mobility Index, tied at number 22 with institutions such as the University of California, Davis, and the University of Albany, SUNY. FAMU continues to deliver strongly on its mission of advancing education for Pell-eligible students. This ranking is a reflection of FAMU's ability as Florida's only public HBCU to propel the economic trajectory of graduates forward, enhancing the financial outlook of their families for generations to come. What are your thoughts there, Kelvin, as another top award for our beloved university?
Honestly, man, the thought is the standard is the standard. I applaud it because winning ain't easy, or being successful ain't easy, and we have that consistency of being the number 1 public HBCU. So I'm glad about it. But this is what is expected. This is what we do. So I want to see us to grow and to continue to move up by doing some other things and not get too comfortable. There was a drop, a couple of spots, I think about 10, 11 spots this year on the overall list. So, if we want to stay there, we got to continue to do new things and invest and in our infrastructure, our facilities, our student performance, all the above, all the above. So, but I'm proud. I'm a proud alumni, period.
All right. Well said. Well said. Congratulations again to Florida A&M University. Again, proud to be a Rattler, and definitely we should all celebrate. And this comes on the heels, of course, of the other national ranking, either 1 week or 2 weeks ago, which was more so related to student niche. Yeah, the niche ranking, which that's more so from students themselves. So this we're standing on great ground right now at FAMU, and
don't FAMU it up. If you know, you know.
Yes, don't FAMU it up. Exactly. And like Colonel Clark said, maybe, just maybe, we'll get the leadership to be bold and take that step and kind of stop listening to, or how many times can we bring on people that tell us what other great things are happening at their institutions, and we like, damn, how come we ain't doing that? When are we going to do that? At some point, somebody who watches the show is going to step boldly into a place that we've never been, because we know they watch the show. So it is what it is. This Friday, I want to take a second and remind everybody, this Friday is the induction for the class of 2025 into the FAMU Sports Hall of Fame. Will take place 7 o'clock in Gaither Gymnasium. And you can see the list of inductees, 8 former student athletes, females, males. Shout out to Amber Fullwood, who we had on the show last week.
And continue the softball fundraiser is still ongoing, so continue to support that.
Yes, the fundraiser is still going. I think I still have the link from last week, or I know you put something.
Yeah, script and in private chat.
But that's a long. I gotta shorten that link up, because I don't think that long link will fit. And I don't think that link will fit. I'll try it. I don't know. But maybe it will. Let me see if I copy this link. So for you guys who are in the chat rooms, let's see if this works. This is the FAMU softball fundraising link. Fingers crossed that it goes through. We'll see. Hopefully it comes through. It's a long link, so somehow we'll see. But you can also go to the FAMU fundraising. The foundation number is 0006. I still remember that. 0006 is the number. So you can always I could make a QR code, Keith. Thank you. So somebody send Keith the link. But here it is. I don't even know if that link came through. I think that link was chopped up.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it is a bit.ly. You know what? I appreciate you, Keith. I did make a bit.ly last week. I did make one, and it's somewhere. I just don't know where.
I think I may have something too.
Yeah, we'll try to get that out as well, because I want you guys to make sure to support that. Let me see if there's a show me. Does that show me where we're at in terms of the numbers? I know we had a certain goal. So, yeah, I'll see if you can make Kelvin's going to try to make the bit.ly and then drop that in there. Oh, the first link works. Okay, hey, great. All right, little baby, appreciate you. The first link works. All right, there we go. So the link works. So there you go, guys. Let's get in there and let's get some donations going here. FAMU softball. If you recall last week's show, last couple shows, I know we had Coach Beal on a couple weeks ago. Then last week we had Amber Fullwood on the show. So we kind of talked about the needs for the softball program and things like that. So please get down and support. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Let me see. You dropped a couple other notes in here. Something that I learned from the 220 Club. Those of you who caught the Eddie Jackson 220 Club this afternoon, I did not know that the first game of the season was sort of a salute to the former players of the Gaither era. And I mentioned that because this week is a celebration or a salute to the Coach Rudy Hubbard players. A lot of the former players that were, part of the Hubbard era, obviously a great era, FAMU being the first Division I AA/FCS school to win the national championship, the only HBCU to win a national championship at the NCAA level. Of course, my broadcast partner was QB1 for that team, Al Chester. This weekend, Coach Colsey made it known that this weekend is a celebration of those players. And then I believe he said the next home game will be the celebration for the Ken Riley Rattlers. Is that the North Carolina Central game? Is that the next home game?
Yes.
Okay. And then obviously they won't do anything for homecoming. And then the Jackson State game. Ooh, I said the name. That game will be a celebration of the Billy Joe Rattlers. So I think I have that order correct. So yeah, I don't know what that'll look like. I don't know if those guys are running out the tunnel or if I don't know where they. Maybe it'll be a special recognition in between quarters. I don't know. But we'll keep you posted. We'll keep you posted. Nice graphic. You got to email that to me. Don't send me the text, Kelvin. Hell, that's a beautiful graphic. Let me see how quickly I can forward that. Is this nice graphic that you sent me? Send it to my email, and then that way I can quickly download it. That same graphic that you just sent. Okay. While Kelvin does that, let me look through your notes here and see if I got anything else. We did talk about the football or the basketball season tickets. We did mention that.
Yes, and I was correct. There's only two packages that are available right now. The regular season ticket package of $125 or the courtside, which is at $500.
And that's again for both men and women.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. Bear with me here, folks. I wanted to make a mention or make a special acknowledgement here for one of our FAMU track cross country athletes who was just recently recognized as one of the SWAC cross country runners of the week. And that was none other than Tara Burt. There you go. Congratulations to Tara. The senior led wire to wire this past Saturday morning, claiming the individual title at the Willie Laster Invitational, cross-country invitational, with a time of 19 minutes and 0.50 seconds. Bert's victory gave the Rattlers set the tone for the day that featured standout performances across the roster. You had junior Julian Simon, who she finished in the top 10, finishing 9th overall. FAMU also placed 3 additional runners in the top 35. Sophomore Kristen Prather, junior Alicia Douglas, and junior Timaje Scriven. Hope I got those names right, ladies. The Rattlers' depth was on display as the team placed 5 runners inside the top 35 and a crowded field of more than 80 competitors. The Invitational, named in honor of longtime coach Willie Laster, annually draws programs from across the Southeast and serves as an early season measuring stick for conference and regional competition. So congratulations to Tara. It looks like the next meet will be taking place on Friday, as the cross-country team will be running in the FSU Cross-Country Invitational right there in Tallahassee. And then a month from this weekend, the SWAC championships.
Same location.
Same place in Tallahassee. So it'll be, sort of a good opportunity for the Rattlers to get a chance to run the course that they're going to be running in the SWAC. For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I think I see some other awards that just came out via the Southwestern Athletic Conference. This is more of a volleyball player of the week. And I think this, for this young lady, it might be the second consecutive week that she has received this honor. And I'm speaking of this young lady right here, LaDonna Trantham, who was recognized by the SWAC as the co-newcomer of the week. Co-newcomer of the week. Trying to see if I've got any. I don't have any statistics for her, but most likely it came while the Rattlers were in Jacksonville over the past weekend. Yeah. Unfortunately, we dropped all 3 matches in the Jacksonville tournament, losing to West Virginia 3-0. Then we lost to Jacksonville State 3-1. And then went a 5-setter with the host school, the university, or Jacksonville University, where we went 3-2, losing 3-2 in that match. I'm trying to see if I can find LaDonna's statistics in that last match. She had 15 kills and a block in that contest. That was a team high number of kills. So again, just in case you're not familiar, LaDonna, as an outside hitter, is a true freshman from just outside of Chicago, Homewood, Illinois. Went to Homewood Flossmoor High School. So I mean, that's pretty impressive. Let me see if I can pull up the numbers, the rest of the numbers from that particular match or over the weekend. I mentioned the 15 kills that she had in the Jacksonville game. Well, she had 14 kills against Jacksonville State. So, and really, she's 4 of the last 5 matches, she's had 14 or more. The one match where she didn't have a great day was against West Virginia. Of course, West Virginia of the Big 12. Yeah, she's it's going to be interesting. Looks like, you know, she's making a name for herself as we get ready to head into SWAC play.
Yeah, and we just want to remind everybody that the volleyball team, because Coach Gokon and the ladies have been working really hard, and they want to see a big crowd this Friday. We play Jackson State at home in the Lawson Center. It's free. It's free. It's free at 6 p.m. And then on Sunday, they play Mississippi Valley State at the Lawson Center at 1 p.m. And he's been doing all he can. I know that him and the team have been out to the dorms and to, I think they're going to try to be out at Set Friday. They've got stuff on their social media accounts. So let's if you can, if you're in town, if you can make it, please, let's support these young ladies as they get into play.
And how, look, of course, you know, we defeated them 3-1 last year. I believe that was the championship match, if I'm not mistaken, last year in the championship match, 3-1. We have, and of course, both matches last season went 5 sets. We won those 3-2. We have won 8 consecutive matches against Jackson State. The first 2 years we came into the SWAC, we dropped those 2 contests, and then ever since then we've been rolling. And so, you know, winners of 8 consecutive against Jackson State. But look, Jackson State is going to be competitive. I mean, they're going to be right there along with Alabama State as one of the more competitive I don't even have the preseason predicted order right off the top of my head, or maybe it's on the link. Is it on the link, Kelvin? On the sheet?
I don't know if I left that link on there or not.
Okay. Well, I know between us, Alabama State and Jackson State are somewhere predicted in the top 4. So those 3 to 4 teams that are predicted to finish in the SWAC. So already this is one of the premier matches. And so like I said, we got to find a way to get out there. I mean, I'll tell you what, if you're planning to go to, let's say, the Hall of Fame, I know the Hall of Fame starts at 7, but hey, go to the volleyball match at 6. And if you got to go to the Hall of Fame,
it's right across the street.
It's right across the street, you know? So if you show up 30 minutes late to the Hall of Fame, they'll be okay. You know, they understand. You know, Marvin and the folks, you know, they understand. You know, but man, we gotta. You know, I wish they would have. I'm not gonna lie. I wish they would have moved the time up an hour, but I don't control those things. But hey, we still need a crowd. We still need we need to start something. And so I hope that the Student Government Association and the fraternities and the sororities and the service organizations can somehow find a way to really excite, you know, and get the fans and the students there. Maybe some local business will want to offer, you know, hey, come with an admission ticket or something, and maybe we'll offer a free drink when you come to our restaurant or bar. I don't know. We need somebody out there to think of a promotion that's going to A, get people to go to the matches, and then B, hey, come, you know, have something on us. Well, you know, when you show us a ticket or something. I don't know. I'm just spitballing ideas, Kelvin, right now, you know, but we need a good crowd in the house for the volleyball team as we start SWAC play. So, matter of fact, I'm going to actually be talking to Coach Gokon tomorrow morning, kind of pre-recording a segment that'll air during the BCSN Game Time show, which you can catch Saturday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern until noon. The first couple hours you can catch exclusively on the Black College Sports Network. And then at 11 o'clock Eastern, we will be on SWAC TV. How about that? Right there on SWAC TV. So from 11 Eastern till noon, you can catch that segment of the Game Time show. It'll be exclusive SWAC contest. The SWAC Football Game Time show, I believe, is the official title. I don't want to get that wrong right off the bat, even though, I didn't get the, I'll get a phone call. Man, you couldn't even get the name right, but I think that's the name officially. But it will air on SWAC TV. So this will be a good opportunity and a good weekend for SWAC content. Speaking of the SWAC schedule, Kelvin, let's take a look at those matchups. Those matchups that'll be playing out this week, right in the conference. And of course, we got one of the two early games. Of course, our match against Alabama State will be on HBCU Go, and these times are Central. Alabama A&M at Bethune-Cookman on SWAC TV, same time as us. Kelvin, what's your thoughts? The Wildcats finally got a win, avoided my prediction of an upset, but Alabama A&M, they've won 3 games in a row, coming in hot.
Yeah, I need a little more.
I like the way you said that. You're like, yeah, but
I'm not on the bandwagon. They're competitive and they're winning. They squeaked by Tennessee State and. They're doing what they need to do. They're stacking up W, so I no problem there. But I expect that Bethune game to be competitive because I think Bethune has settled in on the right quarterback.
Yeah.
And he makes a difference for their squad.
That kid,
because they still have Florida skill, right? They still have skill players that can, if you get the ball to them in space, that can make things happen.
That quarterback they have, he played some last year, and of all the quarterbacks that played for them, and I think there was maybe about 3 or 4 different guys, he was the most impressive of the ones I saw. I do not think he played in the Classic, though. Ransom is his name. I don't think he played in the Classic. Somebody may tell me differently, but I don't think he played in the Classic. But anyway, that's going to be
he gives them a chance.
He gives them a chance. I don't like their chances, so I'm siding with Alabama A&M on this one. Getting their 4th straight.
You might have just doomed Alabama A&M.
What are you calling me, a jinx, Kelvin? What are you saying?
Maybe when it gets Bethune, El Waters might be calling you a jinx.
Exactly. If it happens twice, I won't be making any more predictions against Bethune. I'll tell you, if it happens twice in a row. Okay, then at 5:00 Eastern, 4 Central, Texas Southern travels to Mississippi Valley State. Valley was on a bye. I think both teams were on a bye last week.
I think you're correct, and this is a battle of the bottom feeders of both the East and the West.
Yeah,
it would probably be a competitive game. Also,
I'm more surprised. And you're saying a bottom dweller, but really, Texas Southern has really only played one conference game, and they were maybe 4 seconds away from winning. 4 seconds away from winning that game.
I said what I said.
All right. Does Valley get their first win of the season, first home win under T-Buck?
I don't know. I think they're going 0-4 in a close game.
Okay, close game. An intriguing matchup in Dallas, Texas. State Fair Classic. A fun classic. If you've never been, I would put it on the list of classics to go to. The food is amazing if you love, the fair. First off, it's Texas, and then it's a fair. So that just tells you there's going to be good food all the way around. But they play this. If you've never been to the Cotton Bowl, it literally sits right in the midst of all the carnival activities and everything. It's a really cool walk up to the stadium. But yeah, Grambling State. Somehow they're 3-1, Kelvin.
The worst 3-1 team in football.
Whoa, slow down. Let's not do that.
No, they are the worst.
Why? Why are they the worst? Why are they the worst?
Because of the 3 wins who it came against, and how they look in them.
All right.
But they got the W. So.
Prairie View A&M.
I think Prairie View. I just trust Prairie View a little bit more in this game. I think Prairie View will pull it out.
They are 2-2, but more importantly, they're 1-0 in SWAC play, having already defeated Texas Southern, snatching a victory from the jaws of defeat on the last-second touchdown. Yeah, I agree with you. I trust Prairie View a little bit more than I trust Grambling. But let me say, if Grambling were to win this game, I think it would sort of legitimize their record a little bit. It might say that, yes, those games were close, that they won, and they beat teams that, because what? They beat
NAIA, right?
Right, and NAIA should have lost to a Division II. Got a close win against an FCS.
First year FCS, that's
FCS program, right?
That I think is 0-4 or something like that.
Yes. So if they manage to get this win over Prairie View, I think it would speak volumes. I think it's a bigger win for Grambling than it would be for Prairie View. All games matter, but bigger win for Grambling if they were to get it. I don't think, before I mention the game in Southern, of course, you've got the what's the classic in Memphis? It's the
Southern Heritage
Classic. That's the Alcorn State versus UAPB contest on HBCU Go at 7 Eastern. Surprisingly, Kelvin,
that is does anybody want to win a game bowl?
Well, okay, I was about to say, you called the Texas Southern Mississippi Valley State game what you called it, but this is the game featuring two teams that are at the bottom, and Alcorn is like 0-3. We don't even know what Alcorn is. UAPB, they are what we thought they were. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know what we're gonna see in that one.
I don't want Alcorn to figure out anything until after we play them for homecoming. Then they can go undefeated.
And then probably the second biggest game of the SWAC schedule, the school from Mississippi traveling to Southern. It's a 7 o'clock Eastern game on ESPN Plus. It got bumped to ESPN Plus. I wonder if they will show them. I wonder if ESPN will show both bands at halftime. Both bands who are opting out of the ESPN Band of the Year competition. What if they just went to halftime shows? Hey, we're gonna go to Jay and Tiffany and let them talk for 15 minutes instead of showing bands that don't want to be part of our competition. How would y'all feel about that? I'm just asking.
I feel about this game similar to our game. Both home teams got rabid fan bases. Stadium would be packed. There's doubt. People doubting Southern. There's some doubters with FAMU. I think people are a little premature with that though, because I don't know that Alabama State or Jackson State at this point are what we thought they would be. But we'll have a better gauge of that this weekend though. I'm going with closer than the experts thinks on that game.
Yeah, you know what? I haven't seen the predicted outcomes of this yet. I haven't even looked at them yet. But I'm going to guesstimate that the road team will be at least a 6-point favorite on the road. Here, I'll tell you right now. Oh, yeah. According to the computer rankings have them at least a 2-touchdown favorite.
Mr. Campbell.
Predicted score 31-16.
Mr. Campbell, I thank you, bias. I'm predicting JSU to win now. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, I saw the Hampton game. It was 14-14 in the fourth quarter. And though I know, like us, when we get to our game, I know they set some people against their D2 opponent. I'm just not seeing that offense come together like I thought it would, given the weapons that they have. So we may see it this week. But if we don't see it, I watched the Alabama State Southern game. And that game was 7-6 early in the third quarter, Southern, with no offense. So I'm just saying, I got to see it.
Yeah. Let me know where you guys are seeing that line, Campbell, Jeffrey Carroll. I mean, both of you put up 17.5. What side are you seeing that on? But maybe FanDuel. Usually FanDuel is one of the first sites to drop FCS lines. But that's interesting. My heart would, I got to go look at the series history, but my head would tell me to take those 17.5 points with Southern. But and like you said, Kelvin, that's an early season thought.
See, you can't trust Southern because they turned the ball over, though. That's what happened against them against Alabama State. It was a 7-6 game, and then they turned the ball over twice right in the red zone. And I mean, in their own inside their own 25, back to back, and that's how the separation happened. So,
yeah,
if they turn the ball over, Jackson State gonna do the same thing.
Right. Okay, and then of course, the feature matchup is our game against Alabama State. 3:00 Eastern, HBCU Go and the Rattler Football Network, where you can listen to the audio coverage on 96.1 Jams. Check out the iHeartRadio 96.1 Jams, and you can listen to the broadcast, myself and Albert Chester on the call, in case you happen to be moving in between, like you got to do some errands and you can't watch the HBCU Go feed, or maybe you're like me and you have issues watching the HBCU Go feed on your mobile app. But yeah, you can come, if that happens to you, come check out the radio broadcast of the contest. FAMU has never lost to Alabama State since we have joined the SWAC. Kelvin, he and Marcus earlier mentioned some interesting stats that we have. 3 of the 4 games we've had a defensive and or special teams touchdown against them. And I think we have won in a plethora of ways. We've won games.
Every way possible.
We won blowouts. We won games where we turned the ball over more than them.
Yeah, 4 times.
Red zone, interceptions, games we should have lost, could have lost, but we didn't lose. We went to their homecoming, took them out. So I mean, we continue to find ways. And look, it is what it is. Like Nick Eden said, the biggest thing is they haven't had their opening day quarterback in any of the meetings that they have played FAMU. This year is obviously the exception. As of today, Andrew Body appears to be healthy, 100% rested and ready. After I think he's one of the top passers in HBCU football. So I mean, making his first appearance into Bragg. And this should be a good game, Kelvin. Good game. What are your keys to victory for FAMU?
Hello, Mama Body. I know you probably watching. I think it's going to be a close game, like most of our matchups have been. I think Andrew Body is the key for us to win the game. We've got to have multiple guys pursuing him, keep him inside the pocket. And when he does move around in the pocket, he may make the first guy miss. He's a heck of an athlete. We got to have that second and third defender coming in to make sure we get him on the ground. We have to get him on the ground when we do get to him. And then he turned the ball over quite a bit against Southern, so with fumbles. So we got to make him uncomfortable, show him different looks. But ultimately, what we can't do is allow him to dictate our defense. We got to take some away. So I would much rather see him a pocket passer, even though he's capable. He's a capable pocket passer, but I'd rather them rely on them having to beat us going down the field that way than running the ball against us. And then he getting outside the pocket and improvising, because he's a master. He's a magician once he gets out of the pocket with his improvisation skills. So that's what I'm looking at. The other thing I'm looking at, fast start. We haven't seen it. We always get off to slow starts. And that's a concerning trend if that happens this game. That being said, contrary to what people believe or say, and they always want to bring up Valley is deception, the one exception in the last 6 years. Our record says when you come to brag, you lose, and we don't dominate teams. We were behind South Carolina State in the fourth quarter. Came back to win. Alabama State, one of those times, was a close game. So we win all kind of ways in brag, but the bottom line is we win in brag. We defend the home turf, and I anticipate this would be no different. Whether we fall behind slightly earlier, I don't think at the end of the day, I'm thinking that we'll win. And I agree, we got to put up points. I'm looking at 4 touchdowns as similar to Marcus. We got to put some points up, because I don't think we'll hold them under 20. And I'm going to go with the score because I've seen all their games. I watch all the Alabama State games. And there is some vulnerability in their defense. They have not been tested, frankly, by Southern when it came to passing, nor by Miles. When they did play the D1 opponent, of course, they put 51 points on them. So I think we would be able to challenge them vertically a little more. And I'm going to go with a score of 35 to 28. FAMU. I think brag is a real thing. People can say we don't look this way, we don't look that way. We don't lose and brag, period. And I go ahead and give my let's see.
Bold predictions?
Bold prediction. Yeah. Let me go with
say again. I think I lost you there for a second.
I didn't say we'll have a receiver that has 3 touchdowns. One receiver. I won't say who, but I think we'll have a receiver that scored 3 touchdowns.
One receiver scored 3 touchdowns?
That's right.
That's bold. That's bold. Gee, when's the last time that happened? Xavier Smith, maybe?
Probably.
Jesus.
I just think that's where our opportunity is going to be. Our offense and against against their defensive secondary specifically, and we've shown we can get behind people. We just got to catch the ball.
Well said, Steve. If that happens first time in the 5 years in the 5-year meeting. Yeah, Hollow agrees, saying the defense is not as good as he seems. Well, I'm gonna look statistically here. Again, it's very early in the season. Alabama State comes in with a record of 2-1. Our record's 1-2. Their 2 wins have been against Division II Miles, and who was the other team that they beat? Southern. Okay, so they've got 1 FCS win, 1 Division II win, and they played very competitive and covered against FBS opponent UAB. Alabama State has the number 1 scoring offense right now in the conference, averaging 36 points a game. We are actually 8th right now in the conference, 18.7. Defensively, number 2 scoring defense, that's points allowed. They are number 2, giving up 22.7. We are actually giving up an average of 30. Again, take note, we've played an FBS, an FCS, and a Division II opponent as well. So in that respect, both teams are a little even with regards to who they played in 3 games. And I think what's interesting, and I heard Nick mention this, they have the number 1 passing quarterback in the league. Of course, Andrew Body averaging 253 yards a game, but we have the number 3, and there's only 3 quarterbacks that are throwing more than 200 yards per game, and that is our RJ Johnson throwing 225.7, Cornelius Brown over at Alabama A&M, and then Andrew Body. So I think in order for us to win, RJ Johnson needs another clean game. I think we need the quarterback position to play a clean game. No interceptions, no fumbles. Obviously the last game we had an interception, but that was more a product of a drop ball. I also think another key offensively, I'm not asking for a perfect game from our receiving core, but we can't have any drops that are touchdowns. So that means either a long bomb or actually a drop in the end zone. We can't have any drops that somehow just magically just deflect and turn into an interception. So can we go under 1.5? Under 1.5 drops? I'll take 2. No more than 2. I think we have to have less than 2 drops from our wide receivers in this game. So I don't know what they've been doing. Hopefully they've been working with the jug gun and working on just catching balls for the last week and a half. But I think how our receivers perform, that's why I kind of find it interesting you mentioned 3 receiving touchdowns by 1 player. I like this right here. I'm gonna have to. I want to go there. I want to be there, but let's take baby steps. Let's just not have bad drops that turn into missed scoring opportunities, or worse, give the other team scoring opportunities. How about that? Can we start there first?
Well, we had a couple of guys who didn't play, starters, and I'm not, again, just like I said with the Valley game, in terms of our record at home, that's the outlier. That 8 to 10 game drop against Albany State, and we still put up 30-some points. That's an outlier. I don't expect to see that again.
Yeah. Andrew Body is their leading rusher, averaging 65 yards on the ground. Nearly, Thad Franklin is averaging 57. That's who I want to see have his touches today. I think for FAMU to win, Thad Franklin has to have 20-plus touches. I think if Thad Franklin has 20 plus touches,
it depends when those touches are. Meaning if it's the fourth quarter and we turning the clock and he getting those touches then in bulk, then I agree with you. I do not believe we can line up in the first half and just expect him to be something we haven't seen all year. Alabama State is still got some players, even though they're not the defense they used to be. They still got some players, and I don't think we can just line up and be predictable.
Okay, that's fair. That's really fair. But I'm still gonna hold out with the 20. Coach, even though Haley has done a good job, Coach did mention that Somerset should be back. That Bo Somerset should be back. We didn't see Bo. Did he even touch the field against Albany State?
No, he didn't play. He didn't dress out.
So I'm saying
we had a lot of guys out against Albany.
Yeah. We had a lot of guys out. Coach mentioned that a couple of offensive linemen should be back. Wide receivers seem to be especially Ace Cobb, who has been on the field the last 2 games. Hopefully is a lot healthier and better spirits. Goldie Lawrence should be back. A couple of defensive guys even be back. So I mean, this is a great get right spot for FAMU. This is really, hey, Kelvin, it's fair to say this might be the healthiest since week 1 that we are. And so let's pray for good health in this game and coming out of this game.
Yeah. Because we're gonna have 9 in a row.
9 consecutive weeks. So I'm not sure if I'm allowed to give a score prediction or anything, but I expect FAMU to win. But I'll just give my bold predictions then. Bold predictions for me. I'm gonna keep on the special teams. I'm gonna go special teams touchdown. We've 3 of the last 4 games we've had either special teams or defensive touchdown.
We giving them up. We gonna produce it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me clarify. Yes, we will produce a special teams / defensive touchdown, and we will not give up a special teams. And I'm gonna say how it's gonna come. I'm gonna go one step further because it's bold predictions. I'm gonna say a good punt return. I'm gonna say a good punt return for a touchdown. Punt return touchdown, either in the second or third quarter, somewhere in there, second or third quarter, special teams touchdown. So I'm gonna be real specific on this bold prediction for you because I think we score extra. I score extra points if we can be specific. So there we go. Special teams, punt return touchdown, second or third quarter. And I'm saying Thad Franklin with an asterisk, if he goes 20 carries, I'm saying Thad Franklin gets 100 yards. 20 carries, 100 yards.
Okay.
All right. Let me see. I saw a few earlier score predictions. Ron Jab predicting a 31-24 victory. Who else? Anybody else got? I didn't see anybody else drop a score prediction. Let's see. Ron saying that no block field goals. Yep, we don't want that happening. We got to definitely cover. They got a dynamic punt returner. Yeah.
They got skilled people. I like both of the top 2 running backs. I think are really solid.
Yeah. Well, good stuff.
Harris, and I forgot the other kid's name right now. But yeah, they got some skilled folks. So we that's what I'm saying. We got to take the run from them and make them do what they do. In my opinion, the worst on offense. Got to turn them into a passing team. They're not consistent.
This is a great question, Zeke. Yes. Is there a possibility? Sure. Maybe he's held. And you know what? I'll tell you what. There's a possibility that he's held back on some things because of the quarterback. of RJ Johnson, letting him kind of grow into the role. And we've seen him get better every game. Maybe he opens it up. Maybe he really opens it up this game. I don't know.
Yeah, Hose Claw. That's the other running back. Thanks, Jab. And who knows about the quarterback, period?
No. You know what? I heard that. I don't know why Coach did that. I heard him say that. I'm like, Coach, why do you do that? Why you got, astute people like yourself, Kelvin, will pick that up. And they'll run with it, and they'll be all over the message boards in the chat saying, "Oh, there's an opportunity. Jet Petty's gonna play." I mean, short of RJ coming out and throwing 2 interceptions on like 2 of the first 3 drives, I'm not seeing it. I think he's
gonna play.
Is he
gonna play?
You would think so? I'll put it like this: I don't think there will be.
And let's say we get off to a good start, which we haven't seen. I mean, if you get off to a good start, maybe.
I'm saying my guess, I don't know this. I haven't talked to Coach. Don't have any idea. I don't think there is a plan going into the game to say, hey, after the first 2 drives, we're going from RJ to Jet. I think this will be a game where
it's a big game. It's a big game.
It is a big game. It is a big game, but
you better have all your bullets in the chamber.
but
without crowd. Ain't no buts.
Okay. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I don't think this is not where you don't play around with the automobile on this game. You got to let the automobile drive.
What you mean play around?
I think as long as
you play to win the game.
Okay, but as long as
whatever that means, you play to win the game.
As long as we're not behind by 2 touchdowns or more, I think we'll see. We'll see what we see.
We got to put points up, buddy. You can't miss too many opportunities.
That's what we think, but I think if our defense, it'll be interesting to see how the defense plays. The defense has a great couple drives to open the game. I think that'll show wonders. I think, hey, our defensive coordinator, I'm watching you this game. I think this is a game where we need to see something creative. We need to see who's going to be the spy that's going to stay with Andrew Body. But more importantly, can we do some things with our defensive scheme to keep him off balance? Can we throw some different looks at him? Can we shift the line? Can we blitz? Bring some guys off the corners?
Everybody get to the ball.
This is going to have to be.
He's going to make somebody miss.
Our defensive coordinator. Yeah. Well, but if we're undisciplined, we will miss. The thing is,
what I'm saying is this. I'm saying that really good players who are athletic, even when you call the right defense, there are going to be 3 or 4 plays where they just make something happen anyway. He has those kind of improvisation, whatever skills, right?
I got you.
So we're gonna have to have more than 1 or 2 guys around the ball, around him, even with that spy. I would not trust an entire game 1 spy to be able to bring him down 1-on-1 in open field. We've got to have those ends peel back or bend back and come back into the play. You want to box them in, but also your job ain't over then. Your job ain't over to the whistle blow, because that's the kind of talent you playing against at the QB position.
Hey, that's what I'm saying, EA. This is a great opportunity for our defensive coordinator to turn up some new stuff. Again, maybe we've been just real vanilla, just like the offense. The offense has been vanilla to some degree. Maybe the defense has been vanilla, and now's the time to turn it loose. Let these guys go hunt. Let them go eat. Exactly. There's the word. Rush lane discipline. That's the key word today. I'm going to have to use that one, Steve. I'm going to use that one on the broadcast. Rush lane discipline. There you go. All right. So there we go. Final thought here again. Want to just remind you, show you there's the Softball Foundation fundraiser. the Amber Fullwood Softball Foundation. Again, there's the QR code, so scan it real quick. You can give in one of the 4 categories there. Make your voice heard, make your money count. And $25 single, $50 double, $75 triple. Hit a grand slam for $150 and donate to our FAMU softball team. Love to see our alums get behind this. That's big. I'd encourage any of our other alums, whether it be women's basketball, men's basketball, baseball. Hey, let's get behind these fundraising drives. Let's put a face to it. Let's remind people, that hey, we're giving with a purpose. Yeah, good stuff, Amber. All right. That's gonna do it, Kelvin. Been a good show tonight, man.
Absolutely, man. Enjoyed it. Can't wait to see you this weekend.
Yeah, I'm still tossing around the idea, do I come up Friday night or do I come up Saturday morning? It's a tough call. It's a tough decision. So I don't know. I'm still debating it. I guess I need to decide in the next 12 hours, really. I'm going to pray on it and see how I feel.
Safe travels.
Yeah, man. Safe travels. Thank you. Anybody else coming up to Tallahassee this weekend? Safe travels to you, to any of the folks coming down from Alabama. Safe travels wherever you're traveling, Rattler Nation worldwide. Make sure you get to Tallahassee safely. Let's have a great weekend. Hall of Fame sports weekend. A lot of things going on. The start of the volleyball and football season are upon us. And it's a great weekend to be a Rattler and support. We are the #1 public HBCU in the country.
The rain chances went down. The rain chances have gone up for Thursday and Friday, but they've gone down for Saturday, game day. It's down to around 20% from what I'm looking at, partly cloudy. So I don't anticipate by kickoff that being an issue.
All right. Good stuff. Maybe it'll cool down. Maybe the little rain, if it rains in the morning, maybe that'll cool it down, right? Is that one way to think about it?
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
If it does rain, it should be 30 minutes and gone.
Good stuff. All right, folks. Well, we want to thank again Colonel Greg Clark and Nick Eden for joining us earlier in the first and second hour of the show. You can always go back and watch those segments on YouTube or on Facebook, or even one better, you can go get the BCSN Pod Zone on iHeart, Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple, Google Podcast, and go back and listen to the show in its entirety or the segments. But regardless of how you do download the Pod Zone, rate, review, subscribe, all those good things. We really appreciate you doing that for us. Thank you to everybody who hit the thumbs up and the like button. It's definitely appreciated. And your support of the O&G StrikeZone is greatly appreciated. So that's going to do it for tonight. For Marcus Green and Kelvin Rozier, we will see you in Tallahassee. I'm Bryan Fulford. Fangs up, Rattlers. Have a good night, and let's go.